Good evening. I'd like to call the Joliet Junior College Board of Trustees regular board meeting November 12th to order, please. Karen, can you call the roll?
Trustee Bottomley?
Here.
Trustee Barbic?
Present.
Trustee Garcia again. Trustee Harris?
Present.
Trustee Lee? Trustee Morales?
Present.
Trustee Bishop?
Here.
Trustee Bazinski?
Here.
We do have a quorum.
So we had a request from Trustee Lee to attend virtually for an excused reason. I need board's approval to allow her to attend virtually.
I'm fine with it.
No objections? Good, thank you. And I do not know if Trustee Lee is on yet.
I don't think so.
Is not on yet? Okay, thank you. At this time, I'd like to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. And Trustee Alicia Morales, can you lead us in the pledge?
Claro que sí. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Trustee Morales.
Thank you.
Item 1.2, communications. Kelly Roder Tonelli.
Good evening, trustees, Dr. Namuo, and campus community. Tonight I'm really excited and honored to introduce you to, if you don't already know her, Anna Payton, who is the administrator of the Will County Animal Protection Services. Anna and I connected in January of 2025 on a completely different opportunity. And as you'll hear from her later, they're looking for some space, wanted to connect with the college and see if it was a partnership that we could make happen. And ultimately, it wasn't going to work. But what I love about these kinds of connection points are you've made them, right? And so fast forward to April of this year, we were looking to engage different community organizations to be involved with the president's leadership experience, which I know Dr. Namuo will touch on later this evening. And I thought, you know, who'd be perfect for that is Anna and the Will County Protection Services team. So she willingly offered to come and work with those employees who participated in PLE, which is an 11-week leadership program. And I really just am so excited for her to share what our employees gave to their organization and just maybe some opportunities for the future. So with that, I introduce Anna.
Good evening. As you mentioned, my name is Anna Payton. I'm the administrator for Will County Animal Protection Services. I've been there since April of 2023, and I'm so happy to have this relationship with JJC. It actually started fall semester of 2023 with your vet tech program, so we work with them as far as having animals that are available that the students can learn medical procedures with, and that benefits our animals, so they're getting ready to be available for adoption. And the students get a good learning experience as well. So we've been working with that program for the past 2.5 years very successfully. Thankfully, a lot of those animals that enter that program, somebody along the way falls in love with them, so they don't even come back to us for adoption. They're adopted out directly to staff or family members or students, which is really a beautiful thing to see. So we're very blessed to have that opportunity. But since that was such a strong partnership already, when we were looking at opportunities for space, our shelter unfortunately was not built to house animals. Out of the total footprint, only 3% was built to house animals. That's 225 square foot. And we serve about 1,000 animals annually. So really challenging situation to work through. So one of the things we were looking at is last year we started an adoption program for the first time in organizational history, which was really wonderful. And that was part of the rebrand, which the county executive's office has been so supportive of, us going from animal control to animal protection services. And so really focusing on being community forward and how can we serve people to help animals. And so it's been wonderful to have that kind of support coming out of the county and looking for ways that we can pivot and better serve our community. So looking for a space opportunity, as was mentioned. Of course, we went to JJC because we had such a strong partnership to begin with. That didn't come to fruition, but what did happen with the presidential leadership experience was really great. We asked them to take a look at bottlenecks and barriers for adoptions, because there's a lot of conversation locally and nationally as far as why have adoptions slowed down specifically for dogs and shelter system. And so being in the industry and being in animal welfare for over 20 years, there's a lot of, speculation as to what's causing that, but sometimes it's helpful to have that perspective outside the forest, if you will. So sometimes if you're in it too deep, you can't necessarily see what's going on. So it was really great to have a fresh perspective from them, and they did a beautiful job. They created a survey that they used at the 5K with JJC and gathered a lot of information through that, as well as some social media pages, including some mom groups, which they're always very honest, which we appreciate. And so we're really able to gather data and then laser focus on what opportunities there were for not only our organization, but organizations locally to kind of change our perspective and approach, so how we can facilitate adopting out more animals more quickly through the system. So it was really great. They came up with great ideas. They worked very hard. I'm a data nerd, so I love the fact that they gave us some really solid data points, and then came up with ideas that we're actually working to implement right now. So one of those being, we are currently hiring for an education and community outreach manager, so that's really going to be helpful for us. And then they gave us some really great tools for marketing and so forth. So very grateful for the opportunity to work with JJC. Look forward to continuing our partnership. If anybody has any questions about that program or us, I'm happy to answer them. Otherwise, thank you for the opportunity to speak this evening.
Thank you.
Thank
I have
you.
a comment. You might want to consider touching base with Joliet Township's animal control. They do a lot of the same. They line up with a lot of the same mission that you have in, protective care for the animals. I just know that they have a lot of excellent outcomes. They're very effective and very impactful. So, we need to have small units of government working together more often to streamline services and kind of not duplicating services. So I'm going to recommend that you reach out to Whitney over at the Animal Control Center for Joliet Township.
Thank you very much. And I do talk to Whitney on a regular
Yay.
basis. So we're all about collaboration.
Absolutely.
And that's how we improve. And we're also part of the Chicago Humane Coalition as
Yes.
well. So definitely work together. I agree.
Excellent.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you. Item 1.3, recognition of retirement. First up is 1.3.1 for Christy Mulvey. And before you start, hold on. I'm gonna take 2 trips because I'm gonna fall. One of every one, and the other one's big.
Good job, Chairman. Good job, Chairman. For those just listening to the audio version of this podcast, Christy has a sash on now, which I believe is upside down, but that's okay. She can read it that way. There you go.
But wait, there's more.
I am retired.
Yeah, that's a requirement as well. Appreciate media services and all that they're doing right now. Wow. I hope someone's getting camera really shouldn't be on me right now. It should be on Christy, zoomed in for the duration of this presentation. And this was Chairman's fault. And Karen had a lot to do with it as well.
You look so pretty.
Chairman, it's my absolute pleasure, and we will have many opportunities to do so, But bear with me as, this is one of the few times that we get to acknowledge Christy and her many contributions to Joliet Junior College. I do want to take a moment. I imagine she'll do the same. As Christy's family is right behind her, if they would wave to be recognized there. Shirley supporting Christy in so many different ways across the year. I have to look away because the tiara is glistening, blinding me right now. So Chairman, as many know, and we've celebrated at the Night of Stars and we'll have other opportunities to do so, Christy has served Joliet Junior College with dedication, with vision, with excellence for 25 years now as the Executive Director of Institutional Advancement and the JJC Foundation. And throughout her distinguished career, Christy has continuously demonstrated exceptional leadership in managing, leading, and also securing the resources our students need, cultivating donor relationships, and building a legacy of philanthropy that has profoundly, drastically, and significantly enriched the college, our communities, and our students under her direction. And I've mentioned some of the numbers many times in the past. The institutional advancement and foundation offices have flourished. From a foundation of $6 million to, as the foundation board learned this morning, by the end of this year, assets under management, the foundation will have $51 million. Christy was instrumental in acquiring the donation to build the Whitendorf Agricultural Education Center, played a pivotal role in the creation of the Crawford Honors College, oversaw the establishment of the named streets on campus, Quicklow, Glasscock, Rowley, and Rivera, founded the grants department to expand external funding opportunities, now in the 8 figures, transitioned scholarships from financial aid to the foundation, resulting in an increase in scholarship awards from $225,000 annually to now over $1 million every year going directly to our students. Christy, I'm only halfway done, so get comfortable. Christy was instrumental in securing the Johnson Operational Endowment for the Agricultural Department, cultivating significant gifts from generous benefactors, including Vera Smith, Ed Quicklow, Bill Johnson, Jackie Solfrank, Carolyn Engers, and John Whitendorf Sr. Partnering with Leon Wirt to establish a scholarship and dedicate the Wirt Nursing Room in the Nursing Education Center. Christy's commitment to service, her commitment to excellence has been recognized through numerous honors, including the Campus Impact Award, and being named the Council for Resource Development Fundraising Professional of the Year. Beyond Joliet Junior College, Christy has been deeply embedded and engaged in the communities we serve, serving as chairperson for the Council for Working Women at the Joliet Chamber, a Rotary Paul Harris Fellow for over 20 years, chairperson of the Southwest Suburban Philanthropic Network, and a graduate of the Community Leadership School through the Joliet Chamber of Commerce. Chairman and board, and to the JJC community, will you join me in acknowledging and recognizing the incredible contributions of Christy Mulvey? Yep, gotta do it. Nice touch.
Good evening, everyone. It's hard to believe that nearly 25 years have passed since I first walked through the doors of Joliet Junior College. From that very first day, I knew I had found not just a workplace, but a community. I can honestly say I have loved my job. Over the years, I've had the privilege of working with 5 presidents, each bringing a unique perspective and leadership style that helped shape the college we are so proud of today. One of the greatest joys of my role has been telling JJC's story out in the community, sharing the incredible things happening here and the impact our students and faculty make every single day. My focus has always been on helping students receive scholarships and ensuring our faculty have the resources they need to deliver outstanding educational experiences. Watching students achieve their dreams because of the generosity of others has been the most rewarding part of my career. I want to extend a heartfelt thank you to the Board of Trustees for your continued support, for recognizing the power of philanthropy to transform lives. And to my amazing foundation board, you hold a very special place in my heart. Your generosity, your dedication, and unwavering belief in our students have been nothing short of inspiring. As I stand here tonight, the moments feel bittersweet. I will deeply miss this work and the amazing people who have filled my days with purpose, laughter, and friendship. But I'm also looking forward to this next chapter, spending more time with my wonderful husband and our children and our beautiful grandchildren who continue to be the light of my life. As I look back, my heart is full of gratitude for the friendships, the partnerships, and the countless moments that have made these 25 years so meaningful. As I look forward, I'm filled with confidence that the future of JJC is incredibly bright. The people in this room and those across our campuses are deeply committed to student success and community transformation, and that's what makes this college so special. Thank you for the opportunity to be a part of something that truly matters. It has been an honor of a lifetime to serve this college. Thank you.
Chairman, we need a motion and a second to accept the recognition.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say no. Motion carries. We thought about it.
Can't let you go.
Next item is 1.3.2, the recognition of Don Baffa. Karen Kissel.
Thank you, Chairman. I don't know how to follow that up. Today, we honor and extend our heartfelt thanks and best wishes to Dawn Baffa as she retires with over 2 decades of dedicated service. Dawn has been an invaluable member of the Facilities Services Department at Joliet Junior College since 2005. As the first point of contact for the Facilities Department, Dawn has been the reliable voice that so many across campus have come to know and appreciate. Her professionalism, attention to detail, and commitment have built strong connections with colleagues throughout the college and have been essential to the team's success. We are deeply grateful for her years of service and the positive impact she has made across the campus. Congratulations, Dawn, on a well-earned retirement. We wish you all the best in this next chapter.
Do we have a motion?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say no. Motion carries.
Item 1.4, the JJC land acknowledgement. Dr. Escortina Urban.
I think what Escortina was queuing me up was to tee this up, Chairman. So my apologies for the awkward transition here. Now I'm reading her thought bubble, so my apologies.
I was about to say the other Dr. Escortina Urban, please stand up.
I just wanted to say, here we are in Native American Heritage Month, Indigenous Peoples Month, and just want to take a moment to reflect. Last month, the board passed a resolution in support of that recognition, and since then, we've been encouraged to and have worked collaboratively with our Indigenous partners to craft a statement very similar to ones that have been crafted by other entities, other institutions of higher education that really honor the indigenous people of the area. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to Eskertina, who's done a fantastic job collaborating with those entities.
Thank you, Dr.
All right,
Newell.
there we go.
Good evening, Chairman Brzezinski, members of the board, our JJC students and staff. We have a land acknowledgement, but before we get started, I just want to take a moment to make sure everyone understands what it is and why it's important. A land acknowledgement recognizes and honors indigenous people who originally inhabited the land that we're on right now. And they love this land and they cared for this land for a very, very long time. As an educational institution, it is both important and ethical as educators to make sure that our students and our community understand the history of this land and the role that our indigenous people played. This land recognition is only one thing that we're doing. We have 8 things planned for Native American Heritage Month, and there's more to come. But this will help honor and remember the past, the present, and future impact of Native Americans.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jalen Bay. Welcome to Joliet Junior College. I currently work in the Office of Inclusive Excellence and Advocacy under the great Dr. Eskertina Irvin, and I'm here today to read the Joliet Junior College Land Acknowledgement. We respectfully acknowledge that Joliet Junior College stands on the traditional homelands of indigenous nations of the Great Lakes and Prairie region, who have lived, learned, and cared for this land since time immemorial. For countless generations, these nations, including the peoples of the Council of the Three Fires, the Ojibwe, Odawa, and Potawatomi, and other Algonquin-speaking nations, built thriving communities, languages, and cultural traditions rooted in this region. Their knowledge continues to guide how we understand stewardship, relationship, and responsibilities to the natural world. We honor the past, the present, and future generations of indigenous peoples who continue to nurture, protect, and sustain these lands. We also acknowledge the displacement and erasure caused by colonization and affirm our commitment to learning from and building authentic relationships with Native nations and communities connected to this region. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chairman, I'd like to also acknowledge that Trustee Bottomley was one of the individuals who encouraged us to take this path. So Trustee Bottomley, thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Bottomley.
Item 1.5, public comments. Karen, do we have any public comments tonight?
We do. Chairman Brzezinski, today we have Timothy Broderick, who is a citizen, and he is speaking on his support for Grundy County real estate purchase. And as a reminder, Joliet Junior College welcomes public comments during its monthly board meetings. Per policy 015501, the purpose of this opportunity is to direct comments to the board, keeping in mind that comments should be in good taste, and please demonstrate consideration for others. Please refrain from inappropriate, irrelevant, or disruptive comments. Each speaker is allowed up to 3 minutes to speak, and thank you for following the procedure.
I promise to behave. Good evening, Chair, Trustees, and President Namuo. My name is Timothy Broderick, a proud Joliet resident and former candidate for the Joliet Junior College Board of Trustees. Tonight, I want to express my strong support for the real estate purchase in Grundy County and the strategic expansion of Joliet Junior College into Morris, Illinois. This opportunity is more than a real estate purchase. It is a forward-looking investment in our students, our workforce, and our region's economic future. Grundy County continues to grow at one of the fastest rates in our area, with major employers expanding into manufacturing, healthcare, logistics, and energy. These sectors need a steady pipeline of trained, career-ready workers, and JJC is uniquely positioned to deliver that. By expanding into Morris, Joliet Junior College brings education and job training closer to home. reducing travel barriers, supporting working families, and giving young people the ability to learn, earn, and build a career without leaving their community. It is also about strengthening regional partnerships. This expansion creates new opportunities for collaboration between JJC, local high schools, employers, and community organizations throughout Grundy County and southern Will County. Together, we can design programs that directly align with local industry needs, from welding and healthcare to data and clean energy technologies. This is how Joliet and JJC fulfills its missions. Not only as the first and finest community college in the nation, but as a regional anchor institution driving innovation, workforce readiness, and economic resilience. So tonight, I respectfully urge the board to vote in favor of the Grundy County expansion to move boldly forward and ensure that Joliet Junior College continues to lead by example in education, access, and community growth. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Karen, do we have any additional comments?
We do not.
Thank you. Item 1.6, a moment of silence with Dr. Numuo.
Chairman, thank you. I'm asking the college community to join me in a moment of silence for the following individuals. Anthony Bailey, brother of Judge Bailey. Paul Hogan, father-in-law to Deanna Hogan. And Kevin Collins Hedemark, former JJC candidate trustee.
Thank you, Dr. Numuo.
Thank you, Chairman.
Item 1.7, selected reports. 1.7.1, the finance audit report. Karen Kissel.
Thanks, Chairman. I'd like to invite Anthony Cervini, the Principal of State and Local Government and Audit Leader for Sickich, to come forward and to present our 2025 audit results. Thanks, Anthony.
Thank you, Karen. Good evening, Mr. Chair, trustees. Thank you for the opportunity to be here this evening on behalf of our team at Sickich, presenting the results of our audit of the college as of and for your fiscal year ended June 30th, 2025. I'll go through a few highlights from the audit report for you this evening. Starting off, the audit opinions issued here. Pleased to present to the chair and the board that we've issued clean, unmodified audit opinions on the college's financial statements, again, as of and for your fiscal year ended June 30th, 2025. That clean, unmodified opinion, as a reminder, is the highest level of assurance that we can provide as auditors. That means the financial statements, based on our audit conducted in accordance with generally accepted auditing standards, and the financial statements are fairly presented in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles and free of material misstatement. So our commendations to Karen, Jeff, and their teams for a job well done in terms of the audit process there. There is a lot that goes into the audit process. This is a many-month process that we go through, from the planning process, preliminary fieldwork, final fieldwork. So our gratitude to the team and again, congratulations for that unmodified opinion. We also issue what's referred to as in relation to opinion coverage. This is required and it will be issued on the college's uniform financial statements as required by the ICCB, as well as the supplementary information included within your financial statements. In addition to the main audit opinion on the basic financial statements, we also issue an unmodified opinion on the compliance with state grants, again, another ICCB reporting requirement there. We perform what's called an examination opinion over the credit hours reporting to ICCB. That examination is lower or less in scope than the full audit opinion there. Although that was also an unmodified opinion there, ensuring that the credit hours reported to ICCB align with what the college's records show for that as well. Finally, an unmodified opinion on internal control over financial reporting in accordance with our audit conducted in accordance with government auditing standards. That second type of auditing standards that the college is subject to, you're subject to those every year, and that's based on your combined federal spending, state spending there, as well as ICCB requirements. Within the financial statements, just a few items that I'd like to highlight for you. In the introductory section of your annual comprehensive financial report, you'll find the transmittal letter. We recommend reading that transmittal letter in conjunction with the management's discussion and analysis, which I'll highlight in just a few moments there. But then transmittal letter I always like to reinforce that this is a somewhat unique component. This is really the only spot within the college's financial statements where management has the opportunity to look forward, look at some of what the initiatives are that are coming down the pike, while still recognizing and acknowledging the accomplishments that were made in the current fiscal year that was audited as part of that. The college also annually submits its annual comprehensive financial report, or ACFR, to 2 oversight bodies from a financial reporting standpoint there, the Association of School Business Officials, as well as the Government Finance Officers Association. If those reviews are found that the college's annual comprehensive financial report meets all of the criteria for those programs there, the college is awarded a Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting. Pleased to report that both organizations did award that certificate for the college's June 30th, 2024 annual comprehensive financial report, and that the 2025 report will be submitted for that consideration as well. Within the financial section, the first component there is the independent auditor's report. I highlighted that opinion for you as well. Also noted on the independent auditor's report is a change in accounting principle. This change in accounting principle was related to a new standard issued by the Governmental Accounting Standards Board related to compensated absences, which is the college's accrued vacation, accrued sick, and other time off paid to employees as part of that. That overall change in accounting principle did result in a restatement of about $2.34 million related to those balances there, decreasing that opening net position there related to that statement there, essentially capturing what is expected to be used by employees for sick time on a go-forward basis. The management's discussion and analysis, or MD&A, as it's known, immediately follows the independent auditor's reports there. This is the executive summary section of the report. If you look at nothing else within the document there, that management's discussion and analysis is a great place for you to direct your attention to as part of that process there. Includes excerpted information from both the 2025 financial statements, the 2024 financial statements. Most valuably includes management's explanations from one year to the next as to why those figures have changed. So it takes what is a no shortage of financial data and statistical data throughout the report there and provides some context for you there as well. From an operational results standpoint, college reported positive unrestricted net position of $94 million as of June 30th, 2025. That's constituted of $132.3 million of operating funds, offset by $38.3 million of other post-employment benefits, or OPEB, related to the college insurance plan. That overall unrestricted net position is up from $80.2 million at June 30th, 2024, indicating that the operations in 2025 were positive. Overall, economically, the college is better off a year than they were a year ago in terms of that. On your statement of revenues, expenses, and changes in that position, colleges report an overall operating loss. Before we get into some of the non-operating revenues there, operating loss of $143.9 million, and that's related to the fact that tuition and fees are not intended to cover all the cost of running the college as part of that there. So you have your non-operating revenues and expenses of $163.3 million. Those revenues there, the net revenues there, come from a variety of sources, primarily your property taxes, as well as your state and federal grants as part of that process as well. Overall, your increase of your net position was $21.6 million. So in addition to that increase we saw for the unrestricted, you also had amounts that go into your net investment and capital assets, as well as your other restricted net positions. Within the required supplementary information, just highlighting the 2 plans that are out there for the college, the State University Retirement System. This liability is a liability that is not reported on the college's financial statements based on the applicable GASB standards for you and from a reporting standpoint there. But I always like to make sure that the college board is aware of that amount. It is a significant balance in terms of what that liability is that's out there related to JJC and your proportionate share of that overall liability there. The best advice I can give you is continue just to keep an eye on what is happening down in Springfield on the legislative standpoint there to ensure that there's not a push to move those amounts from the state's financial statements where it's all currently reported, moving those to the colleges or the local level for that as well. So just something from an advocacy standpoint for you to be aware of. College insurance plan, or community college health insurance fund, that liability is split 50-50, and that is reported on the college's financial statements there. So you do have amounts reported for that. Funded ratio for that plan continues to be something that is a challenge at both the state level and oversight of that plan there. Did see an increase in recent years in terms of what those contribution percentages were there. There's still work to be done in terms of that, so continuing to monitor that at the state level from a funding standpoint. Last piece within the report that I'll highlight for you is within that statistical section. There is 10 years of trend data included there, whether that be on net position, revenue operators, operating indicators, demographic indicators, et cetera there. So a great place from a historical perspective within the financial statements as well. Our uniform guidance or single audit reporting here, this is our testing of the college's federal grants. Now, when we look at the financial statement audit that I just referred to there, this is a different ballgame. This is a compliance-focused audit there versus a financial statement audit. So anyone that's been through an audit in their own organizations or separately, auditors love materiality, being in terms of looking at what is actually material to the financial statements there. Materiality, when we look at the single audit, is a completely different equation. If we look at that, if there's one item, as we'll note here in a moment there, if there's one item out of a large sample there, we still have to report on that and highlight that, which I'll cover in just a moment here. But overall, we still issued an unmodified opinion on compliance with those major federal programs there. The other thing you might notice here is we've issued the other reports. We have not issued this report yet. Reason being is that the federal government annually releases what we call a compliance supplement as part of that process there. That compliance supplement was deemed, normally we have that in May or June. We had a draft of it in May or June of this year. As of mid-November at this point, we are still waiting on that. It was not deemed to be one of the core functions of the Office of Management and Budget to get this out, so everyone is essentially in limbo waiting for that document to be issued there. We can't issue those final financial statements until that is released as part of that. Again, we do expect to issue an unmodified opinion there. Two major programs tested this year for the college, $19.1 million of student financial aid, and the WIOA cluster of $1.95 million. We did have one finding, which is considered an instance of noncompliance there. Now, for some context, an instance of noncompliance is the kind of the lowest level of severity that we can comment on for that. There could be something that falls under that instance of noncompliance. From there, if it's a more systemic issue, we may report that as a significant deficiency or material weakness there. In this case, there was 1 out of 40 students that we tested here that did not receive exit conflict notification within the prescribed time frame there. This seemed to be a somewhat unique case, kind of a gap in the process here where a student didn't completely withdraw, but they went from a full-time classification to a half-time classification. The other 39 that we looked at obviously were tested there, but there was one instance of noncompliance. That's what's noted here. College has already put a corrective action plan in place to address that there. We don't see that, again, as a systemic issue or anything that we would expect to be repeated with these new procedures in place for that. But for the fact of the matter is that college has gone many years without any sort of findings or instances of noncompliance on a reporting standpoint here. The Department of Education honestly expects to see things from a reporting standpoint there because they know the complexity of the Student Financial Aid Handbook. That's a document, if anybody's ever looked at that, that's 1,400 plus pages as part of that process there. There's a lot that goes into it there. So again, not a major concern from an audit standpoint there, but something that we do report on there. No material weaknesses, no significant deficiencies, no other non-compliance noted in our testing. Final piece here for you this evening, our key takeaways from our audit. We had no difficulties in performing the audit. Staff continues to be incredibly responsive in terms of any questions that we ask throughout the process. No disagreements on accounting matters or accounting principles there, and then no adjustments, past adjustments, or internal control matters that we noted during the course of our audit. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions. And again, just our thanks to the college and the staff for the opportunity to be here this evening. Thank you.
Does anyone have any questions?
You just mentioned that for the decrease to opening the net position of 2.34 million compensated absences, we need to keep an eye on what's going on in Springfield because that's increasing the college's liability, correct?
So two separate pieces there. So the compensated absences, one is all within the college there. So that is essentially just the vacation and sick time component of that. The college insurance plan or the CIP plan, which is the other post-appointment benefit in the RSI, is the separate piece that I would recommend continuing to monitor in addition to that state university retirement system liability as well. Those are the two amounts that are part of the larger state plans for that there. That monitoring and advocacy would be directed towards those. You have essentially all the control over the compensated absences piece. That's just a change in the accounting rules that was effective for this year.
Got it. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you. Any other questions for Anthony?
No.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Item 1.7.2, the levy report. Jeff Heap, please.
Good evening.
Evening.
Good evening.
Mario, what are you doing today? Didn't remember a calendar on the second page. Basically, this is the formula the college has to follow under the tax cap law. Basically, it's the prior year extension. We can capture consumer price index increase if the college so just chooses. And then that's divided by the current assessed value, excluding new property. And that gives us our tax rate, and that's applied to all property, including new construction. So basically what this formula would give us is what the college's maximum levy would be if there was no new property within the district. To remind the board, when the FY26 budget was adopted, these were the revenue assumptions used for the tax levy. Kind of an overall 4% increase that was based on 2.9% from consumer price index, and then 1.1%, or about $325 million in new construction within our district. And then the debt service levy, that's related to the referendum bond back in 2008, 2009, and that has a 4.9% increase built into it on the resolution. Now that we're getting toward the end of the year, start getting some preliminary numbers out of a couple of our counties, primarily Will County, because they represent 83% of our district's assessed value. Expecting at least a 5% increase in existing assessed value within our district. New construction is trending a little bit over what was our budget was based on. But we're going to be in the $350 to $400 million range for the year. And then consumer price index was known last January at the 2.9% for calendar year 2024. Under the tax cap law, if the college reduced the levy not to capture the 2.9%, even though our budget assumed we would, basically it would reduce revenue by $2.1 million for the college, or the extension. Since the prior levies are starting point, you lose that plus any CPI adjustments going forward. That cumulatively, after 20 years, it'd be in the neighborhood of $60 million. For debt service, the college currently has 3 bond issues outstanding. The 2018 and 2021 alternate revenue bonds we abate those. They're paid for by the capital assessment fee. So it's kind of a charge that the students pay with tuition and fees. And what we're left with is a referendum bond that is levied for. On this recap, the only difference between the columns is the new construction, new growth for the calendar year. So this is basically scenarios. So at the far left is 350 million of new construction. At the far right would be 550 million. And you can see what it kind of does to our overall extension at the bottom. Excluding debt service, you go from about 74.9 to if there was 550 million in new construction, you could be potentially at almost $4 million. Kind of as a reference point, our budget, when we built it, assumed the levy excluding debt service would be about 74.7. So if we end up somewhere in that 350 to 400, 74.9 to a little over 75 million is probably what the expected extension will be when we start getting those back from the counties in May and June. Kind of March, April, May is when most of them, or Cook County, we're still waiting on. From an individual taxpayer standpoint, and we kind of started this back, it's been a while now, back in 2010, we started with a $200,000 market value house. And then we adjusted it by what our overall assessed value did, if it increased or decreased. It was increasing, then it decreased for a handful of years after the recession. Then it started going back up in, I think it was around 2014. So you can see the last few years there's been a bigger increase in existing assessed, the value on existing property. But what it's kind of showing you is taxes paid to JJC is really just
what it's changed by is basically the consumer price index on an annual basis. Now, this is assuming that house, its market value and assessed value changed in proportion to how our whole district did. So somebody decreased, their value went up less, they'd pay less. If they went up more, it would affect them more. They'd pay more. So the proposed levy, excluding debt service, about 75.4 million versus last year's extension of a little over 72 million. It's about a 4.7% increase. To reach this, though, new construction would have to be in the neighborhood of 550 million. Do not expect it, but it's always one of those, if you don't capture new construction under PTAL, you never capture it. So we've always levied a little bit higher just so we don't lose taxes on new construction. Then debt service doesn't quite equal the 4.9 I showed earlier. Cook County always adds a loss allowance on, so it kind of distorts the percentages a little bit. But overall, the request, like I said, 4.68%. The final is probably going to be more like about 4.1% when everything's finalized. Over the last few years, we have more discussion on what we think our expected tax rate's going to be. Our tax rate's basically driven by three components. It's the rate generated under the tax cap formula. There's kind of a true up, especially with Will County. They're the first one out of the gate with their tax bills. They do some estimation for our other counties, so they true that up, and then they either add on or subtract from next year. And then there's a little bit an add-on with, I forget what public, it's on the next slide, the Public Act. It's basically capturing back some of the tax refunds that go through, that are done after the levy's finalized, tax appeals. But the rate is expected to decrease slightly. And that's basically because the existing EAV is expected to go up 5% and consumer price index is only 2.9. So do we expect the tax rate to drop a little bit? The estimations, Will County was real close this past year. Like I said, EAV was only overstated slightly, about 5 million, and new construction underestimated about 43 million. So preliminary numbers, it only represents about a $90,000 add-on for this year. So the next steps is asking the board to adopt the estimated levy tonight. We'll publish the notice in the paper between 7 and 14 days. We're not over the 5%, so we would not have to publish, but even when it's been under 5, we've maintained the publication. Ask for approval for the final levy at the December meeting, so we can file with the county clerks by the last Tuesday in December. Questions?
Any questions for Jeff? Yes.
Not necessarily for Jeff, maybe for this board. So tonight, we're being asked to adopt the tax levy. And obviously, as trustees, our job is to manage the budget and only one employee, which is our president. And this is a very important part in our process today is as we govern, this budget. So, Chairman, seeing that we're going to adopt it today, but we're going to actually approve it in the December board meeting, if I wanted to recommend, and I'm sorry I didn't talk to you earlier, this is not a surprise and it's not intended to be that, but just, I've got a lot going on right now and I'm thinking, because the New Orleans conference, there were things, initiatives that other colleges are taking that I would like to discuss later today in my report, but those initiatives will take some budgeting adjustments to fund certain initiatives that I'd like to propose.
Okay.
I want to talk about that before, maybe add it on next month's agenda so we can have a full discussion on it before we actually adopt the budget before we approve it rather, since we're adopting tonight. And it's all positive things. It's just we go to these conferences to learn initiatives, what other colleges are doing, best practices that are more outcome-based. And there were a couple things that I noticed that I would really like to see our school do that other schools in Illinois are doing, but it's going to require some budgeting to be finagled in there.
Okay.
So that's all. That's all I wanted to just bring up. Thank you.
Any other questions? Maureen?
So Jeff,
Yeah.
we're going for the max, we're not going to lower it? What are you looking for us to look at for this one on the tax levy? Are we looking at the max or a little bit lower than the max?
The estimated levy assumes we would capture all new construction.
So you want all new construction, but what are you looking for in the tax levy dollar amount, percentage wise? So when I'm looking at this, I'm looking at different numbers, so go back and show me. Okay.
Basically here, this is what the proposed levy is. It's based on the budget plus 1%, so not to lose any of the new construction, but basically not excluding debt service, a 4.72% increase.
Okay, 4.72, what's the
Yeah.
max then, 5?
No, the max could be any percentage, honestly.
Okay. So have we ever gone lower than the 4.72?
Yes, usually it's when CPI's been
Lower.
like 1 or 2%.
Right, I was gonna say, lower than that.
And then
Okay.
it's like, it is one of those, you could request a 10% increase, we won't get it
We won't ever get it.
under PTEL. So it's kind of like, I view it as why bother?
Mhm.
But you don't want to leave new construction on the table unless the board decides they want to.
Right,
That's all.
okay, and when you're looking at the tax rates that we've had, you go back to that one, that sheet, which sheet at? That's where we always get, they ask us those questions of, did you increase or decrease our tax? So if you go back to the 2025 projections, and you look at the computed rate, so we're looking at 0.2367, is that my understanding, computed tax rate for us? 0.263, agree?
You're looking here?
Yeah.
Yes, that's the estimated.
So if I look at what we were in 2024. Do you have 2024 up here at all?
Basically here would have the final 24 levy
Okay,
rates
so
in
we'd
Will
still,
County.
we'd still be lower than what 2024 was.
Yep. I expect it to be lower because the existing EAV is going up more than the consumer price index.
Okay,
So
'cause
that
we're
will
expecting-
drive our rate
Because we're
down
still
slightly.
expecting appraised value to go up, because appraised values have been accelerating.
Yes,
Okay. But if we still stay maintain at that level, the only reason that their tax bill would go up is because of appraised value then.
yes.
Okay. Thank you.
A little bit here. You know, last year that house was 238,000, this year it's 250. Yes, they'll pay the college basically 3% more.
Yeah, because all of the people, when they see their tax bill May 1st, they're always looking at, especially K through 12, but we're at least a smaller increase because of the dollar amount spread over the 7 counties. But them, when we look at the,
Usually it's a decimal place
yeah, I
difference.
know, you got it. Thank you.
Any other questions for Mr. Heath?
I have just a quick one. I just want to verify that the proposed levy that we'll be talking about and voting on tonight initially, that is reflective of the assumptions that were made for the budget that we passed. So this is just fully funding and supporting the budget that we as a board have already passed. Perfect, thank you.
I think that is it, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you.
Item 1.7.3, the Grundy County Expansion Update. Dr. Yolanda Farmer.
Jeff Heath, thank you for that very informative presentation about the levy. All right, good evening, Trustee Bazinski, trustees of the board and the JJC community. Once again, I'm here to provide an update regarding a very important project that we call here the Grundy County expansion. So before I get started to provide that update, I want to take a moment just once again to thank the amazing Grundy County Expansion Committee just for their ongoing support and their commitment. And it has been a 2-year journey. It's been a 2-year journey. And I want to take a moment to really thank our partners for their dedication, their hard work, and remaining committed to this journey with us. These leaders live and work in Grundy and have served as outstanding partners every step of the way. And I know that Lance and Nancy are here today. Just wave to me really quickly for being here and supporting this journey. So as you know, Board of Trustees, this evening there is a resolution in your board packet for us to enter into a commercial real estate contract for the proposed site, which is the southwest corner of Illinois, Route 47, and Granville Road in Morris, Illinois. A highly visible and accessible location positioned for long-term growth and community impact. So I just want to take a moment just to share that with you as well. But I also want to remind the board that, again, we began this journey in 2023. And today I'm here standing in front of you in 2025. We have a very significant and meaningful request for the JJC to enter into a contract for the land purchase. Now, I want to remind the board that we approached this from two specific areas. In October, we had a land acknowledgement acquisition, and today we come to you and provide specifically a contract to move forward with the purchase. We wanted to be very intentional and strategic in sharing that information with this board regarding the Grundy County expansion. So in 2025, I just want to highlight, once we move forward and you approve this contract, we have a lot more work that we have to move forward with this Grundy expansion. So I want to highlight some of that information with you today. And of course, it will be a time of intentional and strategic engagement, most importantly with our JJC community, specifically our faculty and staff. Also, we will engage in some community engagement, what we call our town hall meetings with individuals in the Grundy area, residents, civic leaders as well. Of course, we'll move forward with our architectural development and design. That's going to take a lot of work and also a lot of support for the board as well. And then, of course, we'll have stakeholder meetings. That's ongoing. And of course, we will continue to involve our Grundy County expansion team and most importantly, our Board of Trustees as we move forward. So as a reminder, we had a very beautiful letter of support from the Grundy County expansion team. And so I want to bring a wonderful partner up to share that letter with all of you today. And Lance, could you join me at the podium? And Lance, as he comes up here, he is again a trusted partner to the committee, and he's going to share some remarks reaffirming the commitment from the committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Farmer. Good evening, Mr. Chairman, trustees. I just would like to take a moment, point as the person that will speak on the letter coming from the support of our group in Grundy County. On behalf of the Grundy County stakeholders of the JJC Grundy County Campus Exploratory Committee, we offer our full support for this proposed expansion of the new JJC facility in Morris. This project marks a significant milestone for this committee and our county. We spent 2 years exploring, deliberating, and collecting data to create this data-driven, community-driven expansion plan to serve residents and businesses in Grundy County. This plan is a result of coordinated efforts across several subcommittees focused on aligning educational opportunities with the economic and workforce demands of our region. The programs planned for the new facility reflect the unique needs and aspirations of our county and position JJC to become an increasingly vital partner in regional growth. The new campus will offer programs in industry and workforce development, healthcare education, general education, and career and technical education. These include classes such as data analytics, leadership development, industrial and advanced integrated maintenance. All subject areas reflective of local workforce needs. We also expect and anticipate additional healthcare programs indicative of growing workforce needs across JJC's region. We support these programs based on our research and discussions, which included the latest projections and insights from Lightcast, the U.S. Census Bureau, the Bureau of Economic Analysis, and Bureau of Labor Statistics. Additionally, we support the proposed campus location on Route 47 in Morris, adjacent to Saratoga School. This site is accessible to county residents and has a natural pipeline and partnership potential with the school. We know these are major steps towards the expansion project, and we plan to continue to be engaged as the project comes to fruition. The body of work has included passionate and meaningful conversations, which have ultimately created a shared vision, a vision of education that is responsive, thoughtful, and built to last. From the committee.
Thank you.
At this moment, I want to thank the board once again for your ongoing support. And once again, Lance and Nancy, thank you for being here and sharing your vision in partnership with Joliet Junior College. I appreciate all of your hard work and dedication. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Farmer.
Next item is 1.7.4, the student trustee report. Brenton Bishop.
Hello, everyone. It's nice to see you again, a whole month later, as per usual. How is everyone today? Good? Good. The weather's getting a little colder, so let's stay warm and stay good. So really quickly, I'm going to highlight a couple campus events and also go over the ACCT National Leadership Congress, which I had the pleasure of attending. Let's stay on campus for right now. The student dodgeball tournament hosted by student government took place on Monday. It went incredibly well with multiple student clubs participating in an elimination bracket. InterVarsity Christian Fellowship won, just a quick shout out to them, and 40 students participated. Gonna highlight Center for Multicultural Access and Success yet again. They hosted their first generation student celebration with 104 students in attendance. They had a scholarship workshop in partnership with the Tutoring and Learning Center on November 4th. And upcoming is International Education Week from November 17th to the 25th. They've also had Native American Heritage Month celebrations all month long thus far. Even today, they had a roundtable discussion with students to share stories and get to know one another better. I've also included a photo, the group photo, from First Generation Celebration and a brief snippet from a CMOS member who attended the event. Marco, that's your cue. Is the video not playing?
Oh, there we go. There we go.
Really great community, and I really appreciate that CMOS is like a family for a lot of people on campus who may not have a good connection with their families outside of here. It's a really great community, and they really support you to develop professionally. It's a really amazing place for anyone that's first gen or anyone in that kind of walk of life. And I really appreciate CMOS, so I want to make it through JJC without them. Thank you.
I know I've highlighted CMOS a couple of times, but I really just want to reiterate the good work that gets done there. As you just heard from a JJC student, it's a really great community that is the reason I am here. Now, to move a little bit farther away from Illinois, let's go to New Orleans for a moment. I had the pleasure of attending the ACCT National Leadership Congress on October 22nd to October 25th. This one took place in Louisiana, representing over 600,000 students with 150 sessions and 1,600 trustees in attendance. You'll see some photos from Louisiana and a bit of a personal one. That is a pill-making machine from the 1850s. I got to go to the pharmacy museum. That was probably the best part. I'm joking. I learned a lot, and you'll hear more about it later. Back on campus, Disability Awareness Club hosted the Silent Disco on the 24th. Okay, I don't know where the photo went. There it went. There were 30 students. It promotes transparency on different aspects of the student experience, and it was the first time event for this club. So, as some of our student leaders might know, hosting events on campus can be a little tricky sometimes. It was great to see people get out there, and it really highlighted the necessity to use self-controlled volume or other accessible devices to support neurodiverse student populations. Now, I don't know entirely why, but it seems the two slides have blended together. I'm also going to highlight Repair Cafe with 64 repairs taking place, 32 volunteers, and 107 total items. As for December, we've got on the 13th, the Men's Mental Health Awareness event on the J Bridge, the Nature Club Litter Cleanup Day with the Will County Forest Preserve on the 14th. Also on the 14th, there's Latinos Unidos Dance. Apologies for not being able to pronounce it. It just means cowboy dance. On the 18th, there's the American Red Cross Blood Drive. On the 20th, they're doing a thankfulness event in the City Center lobby. On the 1st is the billiards tournament. The 2nd is the Winter Gala hosted by student government. On the 4th is the World AIDS Day drag show. And on the 8th of December will be therapy dogs and peanut butter and jellies for finals week.
That's a good one.
That is very good and incredibly useful to get food in our students' stomachs right before a final. Really quickly, I'd also like to share, last month I highlighted the pilot program for composting. I'm pleased to announce that Sustainability Union has collected 619 pounds of compost just after 1 week from the pilot. That's going to conclude my student trustee report. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 1.7.5, the faculty union report. Kurt Ward, please.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
For those of you who don't keep track, this is week 13 of 16. So to put that in perspective of motorsports, that's coming out of turn 4 and we're headed in the home stretch. And I'll just say thank you in advance to everybody who's going to help our students get to a successful completion basically 4 weeks from now, because this is a very stressful time coming up. So I thank everybody who's going to make that happen. Christy, on behalf of the faculty, I want to add my congratulations, but really I want to make it on behalf of our students. I started thinking as I was listening to all the great things that were said about you, the number of students who wouldn't be in my classes and would not have graduated and would not have gone on to great jobs if it wasn't for the great work of you and your team. You forget sometimes, so thank you, and you're going to be missed. Thank you. I also want to take time to thank all the faculty who came out last Saturday for Discover JJC to support and highlight their programs. It was great to see the impact that we made, not only on the students, but I think probably more on their parents, as these high schoolers begin to try to figure out what they're going to do when they're finished, at their local high school. And something that I really wanted that hit me, I got here, I guess it was about 7:15 on Saturday morning. It takes a bit of time to get the auto shop set up for our open house and the things that we were going to do. And I was struck by the over 200 cars that were over here in the far northeast parking lot that were waiting for the food giveaway that was being offered by the food bank. And I thought, this was well over an hour before it was going to start, before they were going to start distributing the food. And it really brought to my mind the level of food insecurity that our community is facing right now. And I know that's in part due to some things that are going on nationally, but the increase in cost. And then as I sat there and I looked at the line, I wonder how many of those folks, I wonder how many of that's our students and their families. And so in response to the question, we have a great resource here on campus in our food pantry downstairs. So I'll make this challenge to everybody. If you're compelled, if you're able, consider a donation to our JJC food pantry. There's a huge need right now. hopefully we can meet that need and help some students along the way. And with that, I wish you well. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 1.7.6, the adjunct faculty union report. Dr. Barbara Wilhen. Oh, Laurel's here tonight. Hello.
Good evening. Laurel subbing again. Barb has a class on Wednesday, and fortunately, we both teach chemistry. So each month, we figure out what the best allocation of resources would be for that evening. And so sometimes she'll be here, sometimes I'll be here. But I appreciate the opportunity to be here and speak with you. I'll be brief. As he said, we're in the home stretch and looking forward to completing this semester with our students. And all of us are dealing with that stress along with the stressors of society in our communities. And so we're in a very complicated time, and we're trying to help our students get through all of the things that they're coping with, not just academically, but in their lives. We're also looking forward to a little time off in the holidays. And I'll tell you that neither Barb nor I will be here in December. That's the day of our final exam, and she'll be teaching as well. So I'm going to take this opportunity to wish everyone happy and safe holiday season. And one of us will be back in January. Thank you.
Thank you, Laurel.
Thank you.
Item 1.7.7, the JJC Foundation report. Christy Mulvey. I'm sorry? You going to deprive us of the last one?
No, she's got next one.
Okay, all righty. So we'll allocate more time for you. Item 1.7.8, the Building and Grounds Committee report. Trustee Bottomley and Trustee Bishop.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to report that Building and Grounds met earlier today, right before our board meeting. It was a really productive meeting. We went over some of our current bids that are going to be going out, things to look for in the future. I want to be overall just brief on this. One of the items that we'll be voting on tonight is our main campus lighting replacement. It is on our consent agenda. It's item 3.2.4. I do want to note that a majority of this funding is coming from grant funds, so $63,000 of it is from grant funds with a total project cost of $100,000. So excited to be voting on that tonight. Otherwise, really nothing of major note other than rumor has it in the hallways of JJC that Building and Grounds is the coolest committee.
Is it? Did you
And with
start that rumor?
No, I did not start any such rumor. Trustee Bishop, is there anything else that I've missed?
No, there isn't.
Item 1.7.9, the Board Policy Committee report. Trustee Garcia Guillen, Trustee Harris, and Trustee Bishop.
Yes, thank you. So for the month of November, the Board Policy Committee did not meet, but we're going to be meeting the following month. In front of you, for today's agenda, you're going to have under new business, old business, under specifically 4.1, we're going to have 3 readings that are up for second reading and approval of board policies. That includes policy amendments, 4.1.2, comprehensive agreement regarding the expansion of education resources, and 4.1.3, that is institutional compliance, and that is going to be part of our consent agenda. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Item 1.7.10, the Finance Committee report from Trustee Morales, Trustee Bottomley, and Trustee Bishop.
Chairman, thank you for that. The Finance Committee meeting was held on November the 5th. It was last week, and basically we received the same report regarding the audit that we received earlier today in our financial audit report. All of the same data was reported along with Jeff Heap reporting on the levy report. So we've already
Covered it up?
covered it up today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Unless Trustee Bottomley and Bishop have anything else? No? Okay, thank you.
Item 1.7.11, the President's report. Dr. Klein Nemuel.
Chairman, thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate our faculty reminding us that our students are people first. And Kurt and I had a conversation that day, and just what a reminder of the communities we serve and the needs that exist. So certainly want to echo Kurt's challenge to support the JJC Student Wellness Center and Food Pantry. You can do so by going to the JJC Foundation website. There's a drop-down menu that will allow you to select the Wolves Pantry. So please, 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 if you're able to do so, please do that. Just want to make note today, thousands received an email from Advance Illinois. Now, Advance Illinois is a Chicago-based nonprofit whose mission is equitable outcomes for students. And typically what they've done historically is advocate for equitable outcomes at the K through 12 level. But recently they've delved into the higher education space. Now, some of you may be familiar with Advance Illinois after evidence-based funding was passed, let's say 7 or 8 years ago now. Advance Illinois has taken it upon themselves to communicate the impact that EBF funding has had across the state and how there's been over $1.5 billion additional dollars dedicated and allocated to local school districts. So Advance Illinois has highlighted JJC and our efforts in the dual credit space. And so this will be communicated to all of you. This just came in today, so I decided to include it here, but yet another way we're being recognized as statewide leaders. Chairman, items before the board, you've seen already, and the board has seen both the levy, the audit, and really a reminder of the financial position of the college, but I'll get to that in a little bit. And of course, the resolution approving expansion. Happy to hear from the community. And Dr. Farmer, again, thank you for your leadership, bringing Nancy here, bringing Lance here. I did have an opportunity to connect with Mayor Brown this morning, who also serves as the president of the JJC Foundation. And he didn't necessarily use the word town hall, but town halls tend to devolve into karaoke if Chris and I are involved. But in all seriousness, happy to have the support of all of the different community organizations, community partners, but really what we intend to do now is to maintain that level of commitment, maintain that commitment to shared governance internally, to honor the voices of our faculty, to honor the voices of our leaders, and to honor the voices of our stakeholders who will all inform ultimately our path forward. I will note on slide 5 of Dr. Farmer's presentation, it wasn't highlighted. I thought I might highlight it now, that there was an asterisk there with that timeline, that the timeline is indeed aspirational, but we hope to move as quickly as possible, all the while honoring all the different interests of those who will be impacted by this expansion. More enrollment data. We're sort of getting to the end here in terms of fall 2025, as Kurt referenced. Tuition credit still hovering around 1% there. Spring data is looking a little bit better. Our head count is way up, most likely due to the fact that we've entered dual credit. I've explained this about 5 or 6 times at this point, but just as a reminder to this board that the year-long courses will be accounted for in the spring semester as opposed to the fall semester. Tuition credit looking great. Crawford Honors College ribbon cutting, thanks to the trustees who were there to celebrate that incredible milestone. Christy and her family were there as well, along with members of the foundation and other members of the community. Some of the mayors were able to join us as well. So I want to thank the foundation for just putting on an incredible event. I had an opportunity to talk to nearly all of our 33 Crawford Honors students. And let me just tell you, each one of them has a great story to tell, especially our international students. So the board will recall, Dr. Farmer's riveting ERP and optimization presentation last month. The administration has honored your confidence in a lot of different ways, but specifically as it relates to the ERP optimization and modernization project, you'll recall that we decided to take a little bit of a turn, to switch strategic partners, maintain and affirm our relationship with Lucian and Colleague and our movement to the cloud or Colleague SaaS. But we decided to engage a new partner in Forelli. And just 3 weeks after the board decided and made that final determination to approve our new direction, just 3 weeks, Dr. Farmer, along with Karen Kissel, Dr. Ostwinkle, and all other members of cabinet, conducted an ERP optimization and modernization summit. And actually, many of the members of the audience here were in that room. So what you see there, Chairman, is just a lot of work going on. Really thankful that the Forelli team showed up in full force. Close to 10 members from Forelli, close to 10 members from Lucian as well, descended in person on JJC's main campus to work with all of the stakeholders who are doing this work every single day. So really great lesson in leadership from our team, and hopefully those on the front lines of this migration, this significant initiative, feel valued and recognized. Now, what Dr. Farmer is holding in her hands and has somehow magically gotten framed in the last 2 hours or so. Dr. Farmer, can you talk through that real quick? It wasn't framed like an hour ago.
It was not framed, but one important aspect of the ERP optimization and modernization summit was to really recommit the JJC community and invite our new partners to really be committed to the process. So what we decided to do is put together a commitment statement that really speaks about what we expect from our partners and then what JJC administration will deliver in terms of the ERP optimization. So everyone signed this, including Dr. Namua, including VP Kissel and Dr. Oswinkel, including probably most of the cabinet members who were present. But most importantly, as we made a commitment time after time that we need to make sure that we stay committed to those who are closest to the project, right? Their signature is on this as well. So very symbolic opportunity for us, but most importantly, it really highlights the importance of us working together and supporting the project collectively.
Yeah. Dr. Farmer, thank you for your continued leadership. And Chairman, there's no smooth way to transition to the repair cafe from ERP Optim. I suppose there probably is. Actually, I could probably try, but I won't. Nonetheless, at some point, we will get Chairman behind the table to actually repair things. I just want to let the college community know he's more than capable of doing that. He's been reluctant thus far, but maybe some of you could help encourage him to participate. He's there every single time, as was Ryan Queenie back there, Stephanie Brown. Just thank you for this initiative. Maria Rafak, thank you for this initiative that aligns with, of course, one of our core values, and that's sustainability. It's been 3 years now since I've been doing Open Gym with the president. And the first Open Gym with the president, it was me, Pat Van Dyne, Ken Santiago, and maybe 2 students. And since then, we now have about 100 students, faculty, employees show up. There's basketball, there's volleyball, and I think the reason it hit triple digits this month was, yes, Chairman, because of pickleball. Kurt highlighted and thanked the many departments at Discover JJC. I'm going to add just a couple of things to Kurt's remarks. There were 548 people in attendance at Discover JJC. Now, 221 of those were future students, very interested in Joliet Junior College. But the difference, of course, is their families. And I just want to take a moment to acknowledge Dr. Brooks. I saw Bob Morris there, Jennifer Cloberdance, Amy Cuspa-Sims. I see you in the audience there. I'm sure others were there as well. So if I'm missing you, I apologize. It was really an incredible event. Really one of the best things we do to create a welcoming, and really set the tone that JJC is a place for all learners. So just really an incredible day. Now, what Kurt also mentioned, I think, auto was there, automotive technology was there. But let me just say, I've worked at a lot of different institutions, but when you have the English department willing to show up at 9 o'clock on a Saturday morning, when you have fine arts willing to show up at 9 o'clock on a Saturday morning, and when you have all of our incredible staff in student development willing to show up at 9 o'clock on a Saturday morning to welcome hundreds and hundreds of students and their families, it's inspiring. It is a really incredible event. So I was really happy to be there. And just shout out to our friends in student development and to our faculty who are willing to attend. So more around campus, we each year have the President's Leadership Experience. And this year, I just want to give a huge shout out to Amanda Benderitis in HR and Jennifer Baines out of the President's Office. As chairs of this initiative, they created an experience where 18 of our emerging and aspiring leaders adopted 3 community organizations. One you heard about, the Will County Animal Protection Services, Morningstar Mission, and the Boys and Girls Club of Joliet. All 3 groups did projects in support of each of those community organizations. So great job to all the PLE participants. As many of you know, yesterday was Veterans Day. I just want to take a moment to acknowledge all of our student and employee veterans. Last week, the Office of Inclusive Excellence and Advocacy put together a really incredible event to honor all of our student and employee veterans. So Escortina, thank you for that. Incredible day. Chairman, I'm going to leave this part to the trustees. We did indeed have a great time. I don't know what the murmur was exactly. They think that there was more fun being had, as you can see, than work. I can assure you there was a lot of work being done. And I just, before I move away from this, want to acknowledge that Trustee Harris got a picture with Governor Landry, the governor of the state of Louisiana. So well done, Trustee Harris. A couple of celebrations of success. Earlier today, midday, our men's soccer team lost to the #1 ranked men's soccer team in the nation, bringing their season to a close. But certainly a lot of things to be proud of for the men's team, making their way all the way to the national tournament, having to play the #1 ranked team, the defending champions for many, many years in a row. So just want to send a shout out to Coach Chris and all of our athletics staff and leadership. And over on the right-hand side, the JJC women's soccer team had an incredible season as well, consistently ranked in the top 10 this year. And you'll see up top there, for those of you who are around the event center at some point, that is a howling wolf that Greg Braun has installed in front of the event center, and you're supposed to touch for good luck. I do also want to acknowledge our men and women's cross-country teams this year. Another banner year for women's and men's cross-country. And I think I can guess at what some of you may be thinking. Why don't they have some of these cross-country championships farther west instead of on the East Coast? I'm not sure why. Perhaps we were at a little bit of a disadvantage with the snow. Nonetheless, both teams came in 3rd nationally, so certainly something to be proud of. Chairman, I wanted to kind of bookend our acknowledgments here. There were over 100 applicants nationwide, and you'll see some of the most preeminent community colleges in the country. Some there in the state of Illinois. On the right-hand side, Illinois Central College was acknowledged as a finalist. Again, over 100 applicants in the workforce development area for all the incredible work that Sheila Cork-Bailey is doing in Peoria. Joliet Junior College has been recognized as a finalist, and we will put forth an application to consist of, I think there's a blood draw involved. It's a very rigorous process that involves a 10-page dissertation and on and on and on. And we hope to bring that award home in the spring. So just congratulations to all involved. And again, that's a 12 by 12 by 12 recognition. Now, Chairman, today we heard once again from our friends at Sikich and another unqualified audit. And I thought it might be appropriate to acknowledge all of the incredible leaders, team, the employees, and their bouncer in the middle there, Jeff Heap, CPA, who we asked to smile, but whether he chose not to or whether he was attempting to communicate and exude a certain persona, we'll never know. But financial services is really, deserves a lot of credit for the recognition that we get and the unqualified audits that we continue to receive. So just want to acknowledge Naomi, Anna, Amber, Stacy, Shelby, Nadia, Fabiola, Sergio, the bouncer Jeff Heap, Daryl Langlois. And over on the right-hand side, these are the faces that many of our students see when they pay. Stephanie, Julianne, Stephanie number 2, Michelle, and Selena. So Chairman, if I could have the board and the college community join me in acknowledging, just with a round of applause, our financial services area for the incredible work. And with that, Chairman, I'll yield back. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Item 1.8, at this time, the next agenda is the chair's request for a closed session for discussion under 2C5.
So moved.
Second.
Trustee Garcia Guillen.
Yes.
Trustee Morales.
Yes.
Trustee Bottomley.
Yes.
Trustee Broderick.
Yes.
Trustee Harris.
Yes.
Trustee Lee. Trustee Bishop.
Yes.
Trustee Bazinski.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item 1.9, return to public session. I need a motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Trustee Morales.
Yes.
Trustee Broderick.
Yes.
Trustee Bottomley.
Yes.
Trustee Garcia Guillen.
Yes.
Trustee Harris.
Yes.
Trustee Lee.
Can she hear?
Trustee Lee.
Yes.
Trustee Bishop.
Yes.
Trustee Bazinski.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item 1.10, 1.10.1, approval of minutes for the regular meeting held on October 15th, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
Just one correction on the 5.3. I think it's not repaid, but repair cafe. So it just needs to be
What was it?
5.3.
Okay.
You got repaid instead of repair. Just an initial from D to R.
Okay. Spell check. Are we ready to vote?
We're ready to vote.
Trustee Harris.
Yes.
Trustee Bottomley.
Yes.
Trustee Broderick.
Yes.
Trustee Garcia Guillen.
Yes.
Trustee Lee.
Yes.
Trustee Morales.
Yes.
Trustee Bishop.
Yes.
Trustee Bazinski.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item 1.11, approval agenda.
So moved.
Second.
I'd like to know why we had a revised agenda. I'm still trying to figure that out. I asked that question, and this says revised.
So when you asked why there was a revised agenda is a fluid document. We are already working on next month's document. We are able to add and remove all we can, all we have to, up until the time it's required by law for Karen to post. She puts revised in there when changes are made. In this case, we moved the student trustee. If you noticed earlier in the meeting, we moved him higher in the order so that we could put more focus on students.
Simple thing, that's fine.
Well, the pestering of why is it revised is just taking everyone's time, responding to this unnecessary emails going back and forth, and now during a board meeting.
I just asked one simple question.
How many times did you ask, though? We're ready to vote.
Trustee Garcia Guillen.
Yes.
Trustee Bottomley.
Yes.
Trustee Broderick.
No.
Trustee Harris.
Yes.
Trustee Lee.
Abstain.
Trustee Morales.
Yes.
Trustee Bishop.
Yes.
Trustee Bazinski.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item 1.12, approval of consent agenda as presented.
So moved.
Second.
I'd like some things pulled. 3.1, 3.2.5, 4.1.1, 4.2,
We ready to vote?
Is that it for your pulled items?
that's it.
Yes, we're ready to vote?
I'd like to pull 4.4, please.
4.4 is.
It's not part of the consent.
It's not,
Consent
okay,
agenda.
okay.
Yeah,
never mind.
4.4 is not on consent.
So we'll talk about it individually.
Okay, got it. Okay, thank you.
Trustee Morales.
Yes.
Trustee Harris.
Yes.
Trustee Bottomley.
Yes.
Trustee Broderick.
Yes.
Trustee Garcia Guillen.
Yes.
Trustee Lee.
Yes.
Trustee Bishop.
Yes.
Trustee Bazinski.
Yes.
Motion carries.
First pulled item is 3.1, approval to pay the listing of bills for the period ending October 31st, 2025 as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Yeah, I'm still gonna ask this. I know I still see Cajun cheese bills. I'm gonna make a suggestion on that, because I still see that bills are higher. I've been inquiring about going to a retainer. As far as you guys going out for your luncheon and your disclosure of going to lunch, I've seen that most of the schools now are, most of the chairs are doing, and presidents are doing this, they're doing Zoom calls with the president, the chair, and the vice chair to go over their, agendas and that. I'm just bringing that back as a suggestion, because I'm looking at what the cost to go for lunch with the attorney is $500 per luncheon, when I was looking at that. And I still would like to know what our lobbyist was doing for the 10,000. And I'm gonna bring this up, I saw that we had paid, for Trustee Garcia to go to New Orleans for her airfare and her registration. Did we get the feedback? Because I noticed that she hadn't gone.
We have requested reimbursement from ACCT.
Okay, thank you.
We haven't heard back.
Thank you.
Any other questions on 3.1?
Nope.
We are ready to vote?
Trustee Garcia Guillen.
Yes.
Trustee Bottomley.
Yes.
Trustee Broderick.
Yes.
Trustee Harris.
Yes.
Trustee Lee.
Abstain.
Trustee Morales.
Yes.
Trustee Bishop.
Yes.
Trustee Bazinski.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item 3.2.5, large format graphics and display media.
So move.
Second.
Discussion, please?
I'm trying to understand, large graphics and media on JJC campus. Where is this going? Where is it at?
Trustee Broderick, this is for the outside graphics that we've been installing across campus.
Is that the windows? Is that the
It's the windows, correct.
Okay,
We just have a,
then I'm good. Okay, I was
okay.
confused, so I didn't know if it was something else additional. I'm fine, thank you.
Any other questions? We're ready to vote?
Yes.
Trustee Bottomley.
Yes.
Trustee Harris.
Yes.
Trustee Broderick.
Yes.
Trustee Garcia Guillen.
Yes.
Trustee Lee.
Abstain.
Trustee Morales.
Yes.
Trustee Bishop.
Yes.
Trustee Bazinski.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Next pulled item is 4.1.1, second reading of Board Policy 01.65.00, policy amendments.
So move.
Second.
Okay, my question is this, and I'm gonna go back to Karen Kisleigh's powers. Are we getting rid of the policy committee? Because it says there's a possibility when I'm looking at things that have been crossed out. what's going on with this policy? It says for policies are reviewed, if the policy board committee is disbanded, policies will be brought forth for a first and second reading, and it's got for the stuff that's Xed out.
So I would like to bring forward Kara Anderson, who is our compliance officer and chair of the policy
That would be
committee.
good,
along
because I didn't understand why these things were taken out. It looked like we're getting rid of a policy committee. I'm like, what are we doing?
So, good evening. So we're not getting rid of the policy committee. I think that language was in there existing.
Okay.
So what we took out is the Division I policies. We're going through a different process prior to us purchasing NAVX, which is the software that we use to route our policies through the review process. So we basically took that part out, that all the policies now go through the same process.
Okay.
And then get presented to policy committee.
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you.
We ready to vote?
Yes.
Yes.
Trustee Bottomley?
Yes.
Trustee Garcia Gann?
Yes.
Trustee Broderick?
Yes.
Trustee Harris?
Yes.
Trustee Lee?
No.
Trustee Morales?
Yes.
Trustee Bishop?
Yes.
Trustee Bazinski?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Next pulled item is item 4.2, the approval of the Board of Trustee meeting dates and times for the calendar year 2026.
So moved.
Second.
My question is, why do we keep moving them to so late in the month when it's usually the second Wednesday of the month? I'm looking at, we've got May, June, and we look at September, I'm looking at November. Why are we moving them so late? What's the methodology behind it?
Depending on the month, if the beginning of the month falls on a Wednesday or Thursday, it takes financials 2 days after the first of the month to get it, so I can't get the board book out that month.
So it's the
So that's why it gets pushed back. In the case of May, it is because of graduation, and then at May is the preliminary budget that has to be on display for 30 days, which pushes back the June date as well.
Okay, so that's June. And then what about November?
It's probably because where the first of the month falls.
Okay, so that's the reason being. And then as far as the retreat, can we move that up any sooner? Because you're falling around the 4th of July weekend almost.
The July
The retreat
29th.
is at the end of July,
I mean,
Yeah.
4th of July weekend almost.
and the retreat's the end of July.
July
End of
29th.
July. Oh, pardon me, never mind, disregard.
I'm sure they've done their due diligence when they came up with the calendar, Maureen.
I'm just asking.
I'm sure they did their due diligence. Thank you.
Well, I know this was hard for me because we were gone that week.
Well, it's hard for them too. They
I
have
know,
financials
I'm
to
just
plan
asking,
ahead.
I'm
Okay.
just asking. All right,
Point
never
of
mind.
order.
We're ready to vote.
Go ahead.
Trustee Garcia Gann?
Yes.
Trustee Morales?
Yes.
Trustee Bottomley?
Yes.
Trustee Broderick?
Yes.
Trustee Harris?
Yes.
Trustee Lee?
Yes.
Trustee Bishop?
Yes.
Trustee Bazinski?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item 4.3, the resolution approving the Grundy County land acquisition contract.
So moved.
Second.
I think we were supposed to do the Board of Trustees acknowledgement of the audit.
Which one?
3.7.
Oh, you're right.
3.7.
We need to go back.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
So we'll go back to 3.7.
All right.
3.6 and 3.7.
I don't have it.
Yeah, correct. 3.6.
3.6.
3.6, Board of Trustee approval adopt the resolution regarding estimated amounts necessary to be levied for the tax year 2025.
So moved.
Second.
Are we ready to vote?
Yes.
Trustee Garcia Gann?
Yes.
Trustee Bottomley?
Yes.
Trustee Broderick?
Yes.
Trustee Harris?
Yes.
Trustee Lee?
Yes.
Trustee Morales?
Yes.
Trustee Bishop?
Yes.
Trustee Bazinski?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item 3.7, Board of Trustees acknowledgement of the fiscal year 2025 audit fiscal year ending June 30th, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
We're ready to vote.
Trustee Harris?
Yes.
Trustee Bottomley?
Yes.
Trustee Broderick?
Yes.
Trustee Garcia Gann?
Yes.
Trustee Lee?
Yes.
Trustee Morales?
Yes.
Trustee Bishop?
Yes.
Trustee Buzinski?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item 4.3, resolution approving the Grundy County land acquisition contract.
So move.
Second.
Concern, questions? Okay. I'm a little bit concerned in regards to the resolution on this one. I've been looking at the appraisals, and I am looking at the value determined for the land, which I think I've got comparables for it. But the thing that I'm more concerned about is I know you guys all want this property and you want to develop something, but my concern is that there's a lot of reports that should have been done, and I addressed that before land contract should be established. The feasibility and financial studies, demographic and enrollment studies, facility conditions, common community needs, site selection and environment impact studies, community school model evidence, educational program studies, evidence the need for new space, good appraisals. And I looked at both appraisals tonight, and the second appraisal, which was done in MII, which identified a lot lower sales price, $127,500 for an acre, just really is a lot for an acre, and especially for farmland. And I think when you're looking at and I'll give this as an example, we out in New Lenox are suffering big time from the impact of what happened to the New Lenox school district, or the Lincoln Way School District. We're suffering big time. Lincoln Way did this, and unfortunately, they didn't do all of the studies that they should have before they built Lincoln Way North and Lincoln Way West. I've talked to the president and the vice president and the president of this, and we're suffering. Jim and I are both from this district, and it's taking over 10 years. I've talked to their past president and their current president, and they said, this is horrible. You're going to create a financial disaster like Lincoln Way went under. Give it some time, get these reports. They didn't have these financial reports that they needed in order to determine. And they said, do you have a financial five-year operating pro forma to identify what the financial would be with this project? I haven't seen that. They said, please don't do what we did. We are so living the financial disaster that was created. We have a building that's sitting right now empty because of the situation, and we, the taxpayers of Lincoln Way, are suffering. And they said, please hold off. Use your high schools of Manuka and Morris to see if it's really worth it. Yes, Morris is probably something that we should look into, but use your high schools, because if you're looking at anything to develop, you've got AI and you've got the internet with your schools that are doing online. You've got a very robust campus of your Maine, your Romeoville, and your city campus. Hold off and look and wait and see if it's really worth it. Don't create another Lincoln Way disaster. And Jim, you know what we're looking at. We're sitting there suffering through the New Lenox situation of Lincoln Way High School. Thank you.
Any other comments?
Just like to say that I'm confident that the entire population, that is the team that is working on this, has done the due diligence, and that this is the right move for the college at this time. And I'm happy to support this move.
Anyone else?
I have opposed this for multiple times due to the fact that there were other options in Morris where we didn't have to completely buy it or build a new building and spend so much money. And the fact that this is the option that we're going for doesn't make much sense. We could have gone for the other option, which was to work with Morris to expand the existing hangar for aviation and become a feeder school to Lewis University. I would just like to remind the public of that versus draining our reserves to build a new building that could very well sit dormant just as well as Romeoville does, and as to Maureen's point about New Lenox, the fact that that is sitting dormant and we could actually expand there with less cost to the taxpayer and to the college. And I would also, as far as what Maureen said about the cost of the land, I believe that the acquisition of land was jeopardized when President Namuo announced plans to buy land at the Morris State of the Union, which drove up the land price. And we are not, as trustees, allowed to talk about acquisition of land. We have to go into closed session about that, and without the board's knowledge or approval, he went and talked about the acquisition of this land in the public and drove up the price of that land, has completely negotiated basically the whole deal, to my understanding, without getting, and maybe now we have, a realtor on it, but he basically negotiated everything and was so proud of that, and really publicly said that. So I don't know, maybe the public just should know a little transparency about how this whole situation happened and the other options that we could have. And I will be voting no due to all of those reasons. Thank you.
Any other conversation?
Yeah, I'd like to comment. I think that the team that worked on this and did their investigations and are qualified to have done what they've done and come up with the information so that we can make an educated decision here tonight. I also think that Morris is an area that is growing. Families, youngsters, teens, and when you have communities that are growing, that's when you invest. I think this would be a wise investment for the community college, and based on that, I support it.
Can I give a rebuttal?
So I want to ask, you just got done saying that you've had all these discussions with people outside of this boardroom. Why are we outside of this boardroom and outside of executive session discussion land purchases in the communities?
Because this came up as a topic from the last meeting, because people were listening to what was going on. And they are concerned because you have the east side of the district that now is alerting to what's going on. And
Again,
you
though,
had-
the thing is you should never be engaged in these conversations with these people. If they come to you asking about what we're negotiating in closed session, you should not have a discussion with them. Shake your head all you want, but you do not have the authority to go out in the public and discuss any of this.
We were
You have
talking about
no-
the resolution and
you have
open
the-
some, no, open.
My time still. You keep, she mentioned the old agreement we had about, and then it was all because a trustee went outside of this room and started talking to mayors and everyone in the community that she was not authorized to do so. She didn't represent the board, and that squashed the first program. You're out in the community gathering up all the support to squash this program. We know you've made it very clear you don't want to see this project succeed. Dr. Numua is not on his own out in the community negotiating anything. He's got a whole team doing it. We've had the team here presenting all the information you've asked for over 2 years. They've given us needs. Dr. Gray a couple times has given us the types of programs that the community is looking for, that the businesses are looking for. All those questions you keep asking have been answered multiple times. Now, as far as the land purchase contract goes, again, you should not have been engaged with anyone in the community about the cost. You shouldn't have been comparing it to Lincoln Way. We're not Lincoln Way. We're JJC. We do things in the best interest of JJC. It's not even my opinion. You keep saying, well, Jim knows, Jim knows. Jim does not have the opinion that there was a failure at Lincoln Way. Look at me all you want. The failure at Lincoln Way is we had a forecast that was forecasted to build 15,000 homes in a short amount of time. Guess what? We had other issues that happened in the economy that stopped home building. We had pandemics that prevented home building from starting back up. You had the tariffs in 2018 that stopped home building. All of those were contributing factors to Lincoln Way's building having to close. It wasn't the mistake to have built it. It's just that we could not forecast all the things that happened. We can't forecast all of what's going to happen in the next couple of years if we go ahead and move forward. But it will not be the fault of this board or the committee that Dr. Farmer has led that's done a lot of good work investigating all of what you're complaining about. The information that we have and that they have shared with us multiple times on this board is that this is a sound move going forward. And I yield back. And you have your rebuttal time.
I just think that we should look at putting a task force together then. If you want to move forward with it, then we should put a task force together to move forward. If you're going to do this and approve it, then we should put a task force that includes some of the board members on it. Because if you're looking at that, you've got the schools that would lead into the Morris campus, you're looking at 80 to 100 students that would be at that campus. And I'm looking at the previous history of what Lincoln Way East had, and I'm comparing east to west at this time, because I know what we had as a history with Lincoln Way East. We had 200 to 300 students there, and what we could draw. And I know that Dr. Namuo put an email together that said he was gonna look at east and west. So I'm looking at what he sent to us and said, yes, we're gonna look at both sides. This is a big district, so let's look at what we have. We have a big avenue of obtaining more students. I just think we need to look at everything, because I am concerned about the healthiness of our district, and the money that we're using is our public funds that we're using. And I think let's make a sound financial decision on it.
Any other comments or rebuttals?
I believe we got a, what did you call that earlier? We got a discount because of Karen Kissel. Where did you get, Karen? You got money back because of, what was it?
The employee retention credit
Yeah,
calculation?
1.9 million?
1.9 million.
Yeah, that's a huge discount we're getting. So, yeah, I'm ready to move forward with this.
I'd also very quickly like to add, I respect all of your opinions, and I represent students, both those I haven't met and future ones. But in terms of a task force, this is not meant to be a direct attack on anyone, but just education for the public. Trustees do policy governance. That concludes my comment. Thank you.
Thank you.
I just have one quick point of clarification, and I think that, I mean, I already know the answer to this question, but we have our Grundy County Expansion Task Force. We had members here today that expressed support for this, saying that they've been a part of this. They gave us a letter of support, and I believe, just to verify that they said, and we've committed to continuing to work with them to ensure that any development that we have here is really the best for Grundy County, the best for our district. Is that an accurate statement?
Thank you, Trustee Bonnerly, for mentioning that. And I just want to stress once again to the board, this has been a 2-year journey. And I want to honor the Grundy Committee for their time and their commitment, because they've been on this journey with us for longer than that now, if you really think about it. And these are individuals who live and work in the Grundy County area. So I want to value their voice and stress to you that they have provided ongoing support and information to this board regarding this investment. So I just wanted to take that moment just to stress the importance of listening to their voice, those individuals who work and live in that area. That's important to us. And we were very intentional in inviting key stakeholders to be a part of this journey with us. And once again, I want to thank them for their voices.
Are we ready to vote?
Yes. Yes.
I have a rebuttal. I would like to respond to the accusation that it was a certain trustee inviting mayors and other people to the meeting that didn't have the authority to do so, that squashed the former, and I would just remind the public, Dr. Judy Mitchell had it all laid out for us to become a feeder school to Lewis University, and Dr. Namuo was the one that said it was going to take too much time, when I think that any amount of time to apply for the licenses and to do the things that we need to do would take just as much time and energy. The grant is still there. Grundy County still has this grant there. This is still on the table and can happen. It is Dr. Namuo who has said no, and this board who has agreed that it is better to build a new building. And I would also like to remind the public and this board that it was the chair's responsibility. I did invite the mayor, and if you look at state law, we have the right as trustees to invite whoever we want to a special meeting, which that was. And I had every right to invite the mayor and whoever I wanted to that meeting, and that did not squash this, and that the chair had the responsibility to run that meeting. And during that meeting, instead of allowing the mayor, who showed up and waited for 2 hours with his lawyer in the back, the chair decided to run an interview with a certain law firm for 2 hours. That's what happened. It wasn't my fault at all.
And who brought the law
Any of
firm?
that. We all, when I called that special meeting, and I have text messages and emails to prove that we all agreed to call that meeting. We all agreed that we needed to question counsel and his decision makings. I have a lot, there was more situations than just the scholarships and the removal of the term men and women without the board's notice and approval that I have red flagged as his behavior. and that I wanted to bring, and I have text message between you and me and Dr. Namuo about multiple instances that I was having with the policy committee, and that I wanted Dr. Farmer to start attending, and she did, because I was having problems with him on the policy committee. So we won't sit here and act like we didn't all know that we had problems with our council, and that I have text messages between all of us to prove that, and you're wrong.
We are ready to vote.
Trustee Bottomley.
Yes.
Trustee Garcia Guillen.
Yes.
Trustee Broderick.
No.
Trustee Harris.
Yes.
Trustee Lee.
No.
Trustee Morales.
Yes.
Trustee Bishop.
Yes.
Trustee Bazinski.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item 4.4, Board of Trustee approval to return Trustee Broderick to good standing as defined in board policies following 15 total censures of Trustee Broderick in February 24 and March of 2025, as well as approval of a resolution, a vote of no confidence as to Trustee Broderick in March of 2024.
So moved.
Second.
There should be a correction on this one though, because it should only be the 2 censures, because the 13 were prior to the policy being changed, and the resolution of the vote of confidence was prior to the policy change. So it should only be the 2 censures. And do recall that I was voted in April 1st by over 26,000 votes, which do show an objective of the population showing that they did support me being back in as a good trustee.
They didn't say good trustee, they just voted for you.
Well,
Wait. She's got the floor.
Sorry.
Let her finish.
Sorry.
you have to understand that according to the state and the national level, that does show that the voice of the people does speak,
Mm-hmm.
okay?
Yep.
And it's not subjective as you guys are being subjective, it's being objective, and that's what the judge will be looking at. So just so you know, I hope you guys make the right decision, because this will be in front of the judge too,
That's fine.
okay?
Now you can respond.
People vote. And sometimes people just go out because they turn on, they should. We need more civic engagement. And congratulations, you're on the board. But that's not what we're voting on here tonight.
I have a question, and I think it might ultimately be for our attorney, or someone else, I'm not really sure. In order to go ahead and be able to vote on this tonight, by taking a vote on returning trustee Broderick to good standing, I guess that my question is, does this overturn the spirit of what she was censured, or does it more so state, hey, there's been an election, Trustee Broderick's been reelected, an acknowledgement that these things have happened, because I wasn't here, right? I want to honor the previous actions that were taken by the previous version of this board. But I also can recognize and understand that there was an election. I can recognize that and probably agree with Trustee Broderick that being reelected does give an opportunity for a restart, right? So by placing Trustee Broderick back in good standing, is that a condoning and blessing of the previous actions, which I wasn't here to directly witness?
Well, now you're talking about motives, so I don't.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know if I can speak to that.
So it's
or
a
not.
personal decision?
Yeah,
Okay,
it
thank
really
you.
is.
Okay.
I mean, to my knowledge, there's no reference in in what we're talking about in relation to the vote.
Okay.
Okay, what they are referring to, so, I mean, I don't know, to be honest, I don't know what it says. I don't know if it says the things that
Okay.
that all it's saying is that there's a consideration by the board to put her back in good standing.
Okay, I think just to kind of continue on with this and use up another couple seconds of my time, I wasn't here when the initial censures were placed on Trustee Broderick. I may not have been sitting up here, but I was watching the meetings, and I witnessed, as a citizen, as a resident of this district, the actions that were taken, and I don't approve of them. I don't approve of how business was conducted. I don't approve of how Trustee Broderick conducted herself. I've read the public documents that are available on the JJC website of the Lane Muchin report. But I also recognize that Trustee Broderick was reelected. I recognize that I think that a statement of residents electing Trustee Broderick does provide an opportunity for a refresh. So I just want to kind of provide that additional insight as I'm going to vote tonight. So thank you.
And if we go based on board policy alone, the board policy does not say anything about having been reelected. It says in the past 24 months. And the past 24 months is always going to straddle across an election from time to time. It does not, and the policy committee did that with legal input. It does not say that being reelected absolves you of all of what you've done in the past. Behavior change is what will absolve you in my eyes, and that behavior change has never happened. You mentioned, has it ever been recognized? No. The person we are talking about has never recognized or condoned to the fact that any of that behavior ever existed. There was always a defense, an argument, or somebody else was wrong, but she was right. So I am not going to support putting her back in good standing until I see a true opinion of her that she violated any of that. That Lantern Mutual report that you said you read interviewed 20, 30 people that aren't in this room that all still substantiated this behavior. You know, to say everyone on that report was biased or wrong, or that nobody's opinion counted now that I've been reelected, I think that's wrong as well. And I yield.
I would like to be recognized.
Yes.
To me, this item is interesting that we're having a discussion, but again, I understand that it was decided by all of us that we wanted to have a conversation, so that way we could determine if there was anything that we needed to assess in terms of good standing. For me, we don't have to focus on everything that happened, because again, that's very clearly laid out in the reports, in previous meetings, previous videos. What I want to focus on is currently, in the last few months since the election, there has not been a significant change of behavior in my eyes, and also in videos, and also in the way that that Trustee Broderick is representing herself in the overall community. Additionally, I'm looking at the model standards of good practice for trustee boards. This is something that we have in front of our book to remind us on things that we can go ahead and do, and how we should be behaving as trustees. I can tell you right now that there's several things that had been disregarded by Trustee Broderick, including supporting a positive working relationship with other trustees and the president on and off campus. Again, in order for me to support someone to go back to good standing, they have to actually change their behavior and not just expect to be put in good standing just because they got reelected. Again, good for you, but that doesn't change any behavior. The second thing is, in order to be a good trustee or a good practice for trustee board, you have to clearly define and understand your role. Trustee Broderick, you do not understand your role. And the last thing is that we derive our authority from community and must always act and advocate on behalf of the entire community, not necessarily our interests. So for that reason and everything else mentioned here, I will not be supporting you going back to good standing.
Thank you.
Trustee Morales?
Sure. So as the longest standing trustee on this board, over 10 and a half years in good standing, I have seen firsthand your behavior over the past 10 and a half years. And it is not one that I can support to go back and saying that, to put you back in good standing. Congratulations on your election. I respect that. The people's voice was heard. You do have a voice at this table, and you ask a lot of great questions, and thank you for that. But we still need to see behavior that you can work with all of us respectfully as a team and model good behavior. And I have not seen that, Maureen, so I cannot support it either tonight.
Trustee Harris?
No comment.
Trustee Bishop?
Initially, I was considering whether or not I would comment on this, but I'd like the other students to better understand my decision to vote. On the back of all of our nameplates, we possess 4 simple words. It's our students are watching, and they still are. And I am not pleased to tell this board that our students do not trust Maureen Broderick. They do, however, view the working relationships of the board more positively than they did last year. But Maureen, to take a direct quote, out of respect, I personally hold respect for you, but my personal respect has nothing to do with this vote. I represent the students as a whole. Students do not trust you to make decisions on their behalf that benefit them and the community. I yield my time. Thank you.
Trustee Lee?
We're on mute. Trustee Lee,
Your
you're on
mic
mute.
is not on.
I would first like to comment on what Trustee Broderick said about all of these censures. That they shouldn't be grouped together like this. I would like to restate that. So first of all, the policy was put into place after the 13th censures was read. So to retrograde that is wrong. And the policy was put in place to hurt Maureen and punish her, which is wrong also. And the censures have been used as such. And so the two, in going back to the 13 censures that were read, they were for hearsay because none of those things have been proven. And as well as, so in those things were that she said disparaging remarks about the president. We have no written anything from any employees or anybody stating that Maureen actually did any of those things. I was a part of those censures. I read those censures on Maureen, which were illegal because 13 of those were not on the agenda, which we had violated OMA violations, and legal counsel allowed us to do that. There's so much behind and so much tea, you guys, and what's going on behind this whole situation. So moving on to the 2 censures that I was manipulated into reading these, by the way, by the president and the chair constantly telling me that Maureen was harassing me. And I have emails and text messages to prove that the chair and the president were telling me these things. And so the censures that Maureen were a part of that, 3 of those were for me, I believe. And I would like to particularly renege those 3 on me that I said, because those things were all hearsay. And once I tried to prove them, they were actually proven wrong. On the 2 censures that, the other 2, I believe, therefore, talking about the not.
Point of order, relevance.
This is all relevant into the censures. There's certificates.
You're speaking on censures, not returning her to good standing.
Right, and this is all saying that they haven't seen any change of behavior, which this behavior that they want to see a change in is all hearsay. So those other 2 censures were her job to do as an elected official. You guys, like, please go rewatch these meetings. Please pay attention to what is going on and how Maureen Broderick was treated, and the fact that she even ran again, and the fact that she shows up to every single one of these meetings despite the way that she is treated, and is fighting and asks questions and gets knocked every time she's asking questions. But the reason they voted for you, Maureen, is because people don't know what's going on, and they think your questions are important because it helps explain to them what's going on in these meetings. Thank you for doing what you do, and I will definitely agree to take you back in good standing. And one more thing, since I have a little bit more time. The other thing, and then I still should have a rebuttal time, so even I would like to come back, even if the buzzer buzzes me. I'd like my rebuttal time if nobody else does. May I have my rebuttal
Yes.
time? The other thing, that buzzer threw me off. The approval to vote of resolution of no confidence as Trustee Broderick, all of that had to do with all of those things coupled into one. She keeps being accused of all of these behaviors when all she is doing is simply asking questions and doing her fiduciary duty. If you care about this college, I really, really wish you would pay attention to what's going on, because what is going on so many different levels is so wrong. There's no transparency in what they're doing to her and trying to punish her continuously and say, oh, that was it. the fact that she got elected does matter. Your votes said, no, we agree with Maureen and we want her back in here, and they are still penalizing her. And so now, if this doesn't work, the next thing we vote on is another censure for Maureen Broderick. Yeah, for doing her fiduciary duty. We're gonna get to that next, guys. So even if this doesn't work, and even if this goes through and she gets put back into good standing, guess what? They got something for her next on the agenda, guys. Let's go, come on. I'm done.
We are ready to
Get
vote.
your popcorn, let's go. This is like, let's attack Maureen or Michelle every single month.
Are we ready to vote? Trustee Harris?
I
Yes.
wasn't done. I didn't have my rebut. I still have 2 minutes left.
She reset everyone's clock. What's
Well,
your
she had
rebuttal?
2 minutes. She had a rebuttal time. That's the rebuttal time is
I
2
know,
minutes. We
but
had
it
3
goes
minutes to
right
talk.
to-
She didn't even start.
Yeah.
It's not hard to put 2 minutes on her clock.
It is rebuttal.
What's your
You have
rebuttal?
rebuttal. Karen said that you do have rebuttal time.
This is
Thank
rebuttal.
You know, the thing is, what you guys don't realize is this board has been so dysfunctional. And yeah, you guys put me up to something that wasn't on the agenda. You had me up against a horrible night on February 14th of 2024. You came after me, and then I get told by the attorney that he didn't know it was on the agenda, but yet it was. He knew it was on the agenda. I have to go to court because I'm hit with this stuff of Open Meetings Act. Guys, I don't like what's going on. And you know, Alicia, I'm gonna say this. You weren't anything but a troublemaker before. And you know what? Nobody did anything. Nobody said anything, because you know what? Carl wouldn't let us do it. You know, Carl wouldn't let us do any of this stuff. And this is ridiculous, constantly doing censures. It makes the school look horrible. It makes you guys look horrible. And these censures are not worth it. It really isn't. You gotta put the board back in order. And you know, my attitude has been basically trying to get back in order. But when you keep saying, you can't go to this conference, you can't go to that conference, you're not this, you're not that, you're not on any committee. You know, guys, this is really demeaning, because I've never gone through it. In my first 8 years on this board, I have never gone anything like this at all. And yes, I do say respectfully, I do say hello to you. I don't communicate. I haven't had one conversation of the chair asking me if there's anything I need help with or talking to me, when before the other 8 years I did. This is supposed to be open communication. Yes, I email Dr. Namuo to find out what I need. I have questions. I ask. If I don't get a response, yes, I do ask. I think that's our duty to ask if we have questions. I'm sorry if you think I ask too many questions. We're supposed to. That's our job. And the last 2 censures I got on me was because I say I watched the budget and because I said I voted no for his contract.
We are ready to vote.
Trustee Harris?
Yes.
So you're voting to remove her, just so everyone understands. The
Return
vote
her
is
to
No,
to restore
this
her.
is to restore.
To restore her to good standing.
Yeah, I'll comment. Yes, I am voting to restore her to good standing based on 4.4. It's my decision.
We're done discussion. It's
Okay.
just a vote.
All right. Okay.
Trustee Bottomley?
Yes.
Trustee Broderick?
Yes.
Trustee Garcia again?
No.
Trustee Lee?
Yes.
Trustee Morales?
No.
Trustee Bishop?
No.
Trustee Pazinski?
No.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Maureen.
Item 4.5, Board of Trustee approval of censure number 1 of Trustee Broderick for waiving without permission of or authority from the Board of Trustees attorney-client privilege when she transmitted attorney-client privilege communications to a third party on September 2nd, 2025, in violation of Board Policy 0101.00 and 01.03.00.
So moved.
Second.
I do have some input on this one. I did call the ARDC on this one. and the ARDC had all descriptions of everything that was transmitted.
Can you unpack ARDC, please, for the public?
The Attorney Review Disciplinary Commission.
Thank you.
Attorney Registration Disciplinary Commission.
Pardon me?
Attorney Registration Disciplinary.
Registration, pardon me for that.
Maureen, take your hands away from your face so that we can hear you talking to the mic.
And the Attorney Review Registration Commission said that I did nothing wrong, that I was able to do it without any problems, because I did question the method in which the board counsel said that you were able to do the, by verbal, and the attorney that I talked to said that I had every bit of permission, that I did not do anything violating it, that I was able to do it, to confirm it, because I knew that we had to have written statement from the ICCB attorney in order to have that allowed, and that the board attorney counsel gave you wrong information. And my counsel did call the ICCB counsel, and that counsel did confirm that if it wasn't in print, it wasn't allowed, and you're not allowed to break state statute. So I did not do anything to break it, and the attorney told me that if you guys vote to censure me, that I'm supposed to call them and let them know if you did, because I did not do anything wrong.
Can I respond to some of that?
Yes.
Thank you. You submitted a document that was clearly stamped attorney-client privilege.
Was not stamped.
You submitted a document that was clearly stamped attorney-client privilege, and you forwarded it to a third party without authority to do so, without the chairman or anyone's authority to do so. That's a violation.
No, it's not. I
Period, end
said
of story.
it was not stamped, and
Our
I was told that
attorney
I
is
had the
still
permission to do it by
talking,
the
Trustee Broderick.
ARDC.
Our attorney, go ahead.
I have no idea who you talked to with the ARDC. I have no idea what you told them. What I'm telling you is that when you have a document that is attorney-client privileged,
It was not stamped ARDC, I mean, not stamped at all. I talked to them today, and they said it was not. I had the privilege of doing that.
You had the privilege. Okay, well,
I'm
is that
telling you.
your-
No, I'm
Maureen,
telling you.
Maureen, I have no idea who you talked to. If you talk to anybody, what I'm telling you is that you transmitted attorney-client privilege information to a third party without the authority to do so.
No,
Period,
I had
end
the
of story.
privilege of doing it.
How so? How do you have the privilege? How do you have the privilege to waive attorney-client privilege for this entire board? How do you have that authority?
It wasn't that. No, I explained that I sat on a board. I explained that I was the trustee, and I explained that the attorney wrote a response to us,
two board members.
to the board members, and I said, I read what he sent to us, and I read what I did and how I did it. And she said, no, he had no business saying that to you.
Okay.
It was not stamped at all.
She's
He
wrong.
gave me an email after that said I wasn't supposed to do it, and I told her that, and she said, no, you had every right to do that. And I talked to my counsel, who said the same thing too.
Well,
So if you'd like to remove this, we'll remove this, and we'll get further dictation on it.
Dictation on what?
Well, I'm supposed to report back to them tomorrow if you guys go ahead and do this to me.
But what
Report
you
back
just
to who?
represented to our attorney isn't what you did. You said you talked to somebody. You actually forwarded the
You forwarded
emails.
it to-
I did. I told them everything that I did.
Okay, well, forwarding emails that you don't have permission, this board, when we engage in our attorneys, and our attorney's responding to us, and it's only to the trustees, you have no right or authority to send these documents
You
other
do
way.
not have legal opinion to say that.
Neither
I
do
did.
you.
Neither do you.
Neither
I
do you.
talked. I
You
talked
talked to somebody? That's
Yes, I did.
Point
I did.
of reference.
Okay,
Our attorney was not done talking before you interrupted Trustee Broderick. So back to you. You do have a legal opinion based on this matter, so you were still not done talking. So we'll pass it back to you, and then we'll go ahead and continue.
For me?
Anything
Yes.
else?
Oh, I don't have anything else to say. It's pretty clear cut.
Yep. I have nothing. I'm ready to vote.
are you ready to vote?
I have something to say. So I just so everyone can, let me again break it down for the public who don't understand what's going on. Maureen Broderick is being censured right now because she questioned our attorney's information. He was sending us information and Maureen was like, man, this doesn't seem right. So Maureen contacted the ARDC and the ICCB. So the ICCB is the Illinois Community College Board, right? So, they're supposed to be above the trustees. So if we have any questions, we're supposed to be able to contact them with our questions. She did nothing wrong. Then she also called the ARDC, which is the Attorney Review Commission. Thank you. So, and they also said, no, Maureen. So everybody here in this meeting is going to tell you that Maureen was wrong. And then I'm going to read this from Google. I said, is attorney-client privilege meant to protect the attorney or the client? Attorney-client privilege is meant to protect the client, not the attorney, by encouraging an open and honest communication between a client and their lawyer so the lawyer can provide the best possible legal advice. So the whole thing is that him to stamp something and say that this is attorney, like, let me walk this back. Another thing that he did was, but he forgot to stamp this attorney-client privilege too, was give us a letter at the end of the meeting, which was not emailed to us. So nobody has the copy of this memo letter thing. He keeps doing things like this. It's not transparent at all.
Wait, Michelle, we gotta stop. That is not part of this.
That's not relevant.
Stop.
Point of order, Michelle. Point of order, Michelle.
Can you mute her?
For questioning the lawyer right now.
No.
It's your
Just so it's clear, Trustee Lee, what you said was that the attorney-client privilege runs to the client, correct? That's what you said?
We, as a trustee, Maureen and I have been.
Is that what you said?
Questioning
Ms.
your
Lee,
law firm and
Trustee
your
Lee, is that
legal
what you
advice
said?
And needing more counsel.
Your
This board
position that the
refuses to do
attorney-client privilege runs to the client, I think is essentially accurate. Who's the client? Is the client Maureen? Or is the
board
client
of
the board?
trustees, which your law firm never gets us all together and tells us things, so that's what happened with the scholarship. You didn't get the board together to tell us about what was going on, and your attorney responded
Trustee
to something
Lee,
that he
that's
had
Point
no
of order.
right to respond to.
Point of order,
Which
Trustee
keeps
Lee.
happening. And Maureen questioning that is getting her
Point
in
of
trouble with
order.
this
No.
board. This is the horrible behavior that
There's
Maureen does, guys.
There's no problem with questioning the attorney or anybody. We have no problem with that whatsoever. The problem is when you go outside of who an attorney-client privilege document is meant to go to.
She went to
She
her
broke
rightful
that.
legal chains of command, the
Legal chains of
ICCD and the
command.
Attorney General, or the ARDC. She did nothing wrong.
That's not even
and
what she said.
She did
She
nothing
said that
wrong.
after the fact.
Well, then, I know you guys are all gonna.
I'm looking at the
I just want
email
the
that she
public to
sent
know
on
what's going
September
Why
the
are you even arguing
I'm
with
looking
me?
at the email that got sent on September the 2nd to people that were outside of the group that it was sent to. That's the problem.
Yep.
It's as simple as that. It's really not very complicated.
She went above her to the rightful chain of command, even if it said
Chain of
attorney-client privilege
command.
on it. To question the attorney, she went to the
Trustee Lee,
rightful
your time is over. Thank you. Okay.
Are we ready to vote?
Yes.
Yes.
Trustee Harris.
Board of Trustee approval to Central. Yes.
Trustee Bottomley.
Yes.
Yes.
Trustee Broderick.
No.
Trustee Garcia again.
Yes.
Trustee Lee.
No.
Trustee Morales.
Yes.
Trustee Bishop.
Yes.
Trustee Bazinski.
Yes.
Motion carries.
No, I'm down with complaints.
Item 4.6, Board of Trustee approval of censure number 2 of Trustee Broderick for discussing on October 15th, 2025 in public information and items brought to the Board of Trustees in executive closed session in violation of Board Policy 01.03.00.
So moved.
Second.
May I ask what I said out here in public that came out from executive session?
Sure. What you talked about was the price of the property.
I didn't say the price of the property.
You said premier pricing is what you said.
I said premium pricing.
Right. That's what you
Okay,
said.
I said premium pricing. I didn't say a price.
I didn't say you did.
But I did not, when I listened to my thing,
Mm-hmm. You said premium pricing. You started to talk about pricing, and then I stopped you.
okay,
So
so,
that's the basis of why this is on here.
so you're the one who made up this thing that I'm in trouble for because I said premium pricing?
You brought up items
No.
that we talked in closed session.
That we're not
So
relevant
This
to
is something on the board's agenda for the board to consider. It's not my doing.
So who came up with this?
Doesn't
censure?
matter.
It doesn't make any difference.
Yeah, it does, it does.
No, it
Because you know
doesn't.
what? This is all childish crap. I'm sorry you're dealing with it. But you know what? It's like we just nitpick everything from Maureen. If I could pick out what he said at the June State of the City of Morris, he announced the whole thing. That we're
Okay.
buying land and everything. That was held in closed session.
Okay?
Okay, so he says something and I'm not,
Who's he? Who are
I
we talking
said premium
about?
pricing?
What are we talking about?
We have no, when he announced we were buying land in Morris.
I don't know who you're talking about, who you're pointing to.
I'm talking about the president saying
Okay.
that, okay? So that was said in closed session.
Okay,
Okay, there's things that were said, and I have a whole list of dates of when things were said and done out of closed session with dates and everything. So I say premium pricing, and that's something that is determined as closed session?
it's for the board to determine whether or not it's a violation.
Premium
It's something that you said that was.
I didn't
that
say what
was-
the dollar
it's-
amount was.
We
You said
stopped you when
did.
you came out here, you continued that discussion out here is what you were stopping.
I listened to the whole tape. And I didn't see anything.
I'm telling you why you're asking me why it's on there. I'm telling you why it's on there. It's up to the board to determine whether or not they want to issue that censure or not. It's not my decision.
Wow,
Yeah,
wow.
surprising how things work, huh?
Are we ready to vote?
Yes.
I just have one quick thing to say. I would like to reiterate this long before Maureen came out of that closed session and said premium pricing. The president, and the reason we have that premium pricing is because the president they approved is because the president went to the State of the Union in Morris and violated. We're not doing anything to him. No, he's the perfect president, guys. He does everything right. But he went and announced to everyone that we were buying land there. And honestly, there were so many talks about this for
Point
so
of order,
long.
Michelle, we're not discussing attacking the president. We're discussing, did this
Okay,
event here happen?
We're discussing this topic of
Yes.
what she is being, I'm discussing what she's being censured for, and particularly what she is being censured for is taking things out of executive or closed session. And you are continuously using things to punish Maureen Broderick instead of doing your job, which is to oversee this college and the president. You're one employee, not Maureen. She's not your employee. Stop being focused on her and worry about him taking stuff out of closed session that got us this premium pricing. I'm done.
Now we're ready to vote.
Trustee Garcia Guillen.
I'm going to vote yes to for the second censure.
Trustee Bottomley.
Yes.
Trustee Broderick.
No.
Trustee Harris.
Yes.
Trustee Lee.
For the word premium.
Trustee Lee.
I'm getting premium gas.
Trustee Morales.
Yes.
Trustee Bishop.
Yes.
Trustee Bazinski.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Well, thank you all. Now we know why the board is dysfunctional, because we look at crazy crap like this.
Ready for the
Point of order.
Go ahead.
Item 5.1, representative to the ICCTA, ACCT.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. Is there a clicker I could use?
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Okay, thank you. So this report is for ICCTA and ACCT. Okay, let's see. Okay, all right. I spent Wednesday evening at the Illinois Community College Trustees Association South Suburban Regional Meeting, where ICCTA Executive Director James Reed delivered an engaging and informative presentation. This is the photo on the right. The impactful night, full of insights, collaboration, and a shared commitment to strengthening opportunities and outcomes for our students, is always worth my while, or worth time of being in attendance. The photo on the left is the Prairie State educational leaders, and I believe the president, and I'm sorry, I didn't write his name down. Dr. Nemuel, can you help me?
Dr. Anthony.
Dr. Michael Anthony, right, okay. And there are a few other updates for ICCTA, and that is, excuse me, I'm going to read it. Okay. There's a higher education scholarship. The General Assembly unanimously approved House Bill 3065. If you remember, maybe a couple of reports ago, I had that one on the list to watch. It's a bill designed to safeguard 8 diversity-focused scholarship programs administered by the Illinois Student Assistance Commission, ISAC, from ongoing litigation. The legislation replaces race or ethnicity-based eligibility criteria with income-based qualifiers. The bill aligns the program with federal legal standards and removes race as a required characteristic. Then there was another bill, HB 3799, regarding insurance, legislation to overhaul Illinois insurance rate setting process known as the Insurance Rate Regulation Bill, again, House Bill 3799, passed the Senate but failed in the House after members declined to concur with state amendments, preventing the measurement from advancing to the governor's desk. And then there was one other update from ICCTA. The FOIA and Omnibus bill, the General Assembly approves SB 243, a comprehensive update to the Freedom of Information Act and Open Meetings Act that streamline transparency and compliance requirements for public bodies. The legislation makes a series of technical and procedural clean-up changes to improve government efficiency while maintaining public access and accountability. So those were some updates with ICCTA, and so we'll go to the next slide. Okay, and our next ICCTA meeting will be November 13th, which is tomorrow. We'll be meeting in Naperville. So we'll have an update for you on that. I believe the 2 trustees will be attending, myself and Trustee Bottomley. It's tomorrow.
It's Friday and Saturday. Hers is the 13th.
No. I know when I'm going. Thank you. But thank you for your information, but that's not true. Okay. Okay, and I believe you guys have seen this photo already. It's greetings from the Leadership Congress in New Orleans. ACCTA's Leadership Congress was another great experience with over 500 sessions to choose from. It was tough to attend everything I wanted because everything was at the same time, but that just means there'll be more opportunity for the following year. It's always wonderful seeing familiar faces, meeting new ones, and being among the 1,900 attendees who share a passion for education. As your ACCT representative, I continue to encourage all trustees to take advantage of the opportunity to promote strategies for higher education that support our students. Okay, ACC Public Policy and Advocacy Committee meeting met. We will continue to advance open access to higher education by representing the interests of community colleges at the national level. As you can see, the focus was for trustee education, advocacy and funding, advocate for timely release of state funding, strengthen the student trustee advocacy efforts, meaning we want the students to be more involved with the legislative interaction. Resource development, secure new funding partnerships to support organizational goals, more trustee development. In January of 2026, they'll be launching a new trustee training. So hopefully our trustees will be able to attend that. Reinforce commitment to ongoing trustee education. And then when we visit our legislators in February of next year, the focus is to make sure that all of the community college are speaking one clear, unified message. And then underscore the community colleges are vital to Illinois' economic strength and workforce development. And we want to reinforce the mindset of the legislators and make them understand that America's community colleges are as American as apple pie. That's something that they can relate to. It's essential, enduring, and deserves full support. Okay, slide 6. Okay, now this was the Central Region Caucus. It was held to nominate and vote for new Central Region officers. As your delegate, we are only admitted with a voting pass and seated in a specific section. This meeting is chaired by our current Central Region Board chairs. Because there were 4 seats and only 4 candidates, it made it a little less stressful to vote, so everybody got a seat. Everyone wants their nominee to win, so in this particular case, they did. So the new regional director is Jermaine Reed. He's from Metropolitan Community College in Missouri, and then Kathleen Brusima from Grand Rapids Community College in Michigan. And then the director at large is Donald D. Dantzler Jr. He's from Madison Area Technical College in Wisconsin. And then Robert Proctor, who's from Lansing Community College in Michigan. These are all from the Central Region, and those are our new Central Region board, our new board. Okay, and then the next day, we had ACC Senate meeting. As you can see to the left, those are the board of directors for ACCT. And to the right, you'll see the delegates, and the room was packed. This is just only one half of the room that I could take the picture of. So that, like I say, the next day, we had the Senate meeting. This meeting is chaired by our board of directors. This time, it's not just Central Region, it's all of the regions. The delegates are checked in again and given a voter's ticket. The winners from yesterday were introduced, and we heard remarks from them. So they had their opportunity to speak and thank, the delegates for voting. So I just want to say thank you for allowing me to represent you as the ACCT representative for Joliet Junior College. And the big pivot, now this was rather interesting. One of the sessions I went to, they called it the big pivot, and it focused on impact and success. In light of what has happened in regards to the executive orders, it is forward thinking to dispel myths. The presenter shared that as leaders and trustees, we see the issues, but must not focus there. We should focus on the solution and framing language to navigate legal compliance while staying committed to the student's success. The examples that they used was one of an African-American female named Elizabeth Evelyn Wright, who did not focus on losing her schools in 1897 to fire and the radical racial bias that existed, but she encouraged herself and others to help rebuild and continue the mission of educating the youth. So we're saying that to say that because we may be losing funding, we may be going through hardships, we still want to look at the mission, and that's educating our youth. This was a really good session, and not to mention, it served lunch. So this one was good. But if you take a look at all of these categories, basically was just the focus to empower trustees, stay focused, and try to make sure that we keep our eye on educating the youth and not focusing on what has happened. We want to focus on moving forward. So it's like pivoting the conversation, transform observation to insight, and strengthen trustee and faculty dialogue. And these were some of my favorite sessions, and I enjoyed each and every one of them. That's the one I mentioned, a big pivot, a continued focus on impact and success, then the trustees' role in advocacy, transforming communities through innovative solutions, soaring to governance success, onboarding new trustees, and clarify and confidence, I think I typed that wrong, with clarity and confidence. And CESIA, a framework for student success. That one was really interesting to me, and I want to ask later on about if we have that particular program as well, because they were focused on the numbers being 85% individuals graduate from their program. So I thought that was rather interesting. And the other 15% that does not graduate is because some of the employers take them before they finish graduation because they're focused on their life learning skills as opposed to the skill itself. So that one was very interesting. Being a true policy-driven board, and some of them were conflicting with other sessions. So hopefully next year I can pick up on some that I wanted to go to that I didn't get a chance to go to. And then elevating board effectiveness through data-informed governance. That one was very good. Okay. These are some special moments and focusing on people. And the ACC did say that we know that AI is coming. We know that, but we don't want to lose the concept of people. This is very important. So this particular picture here to the left is where our new, I'm sorry, let's see. Okay, Rich Fukutaki, former chair, is turning over the gavel to Carol Del Carlo as the new chair-elect. And we did thank Rick for all of his support to ACCT and look forward to Carol serving. And then between sessions, it's always great to run into some Illinoisans because you're in these rooms and everybody is from everywhere, right? So there's, 1,300 colleges nationwide, I believe it is. And so you're in the mix with all of the trustees throughout the state, United States. So it was good to run into Greg from Danville and Dr. Farmer from right here at JJC. And then again, you guys saw this picture already. I was happy to take a picture with the governor of Louisiana, who, by the way, is a strong supporter of skilled trades and manufacturing and education. So that's a big plus. I didn't focus heavily on AI because I know some of the other trustees will probably discuss that. But again, we just want to remember the human side, the people who make the difference. I look forward to the next conference to see how others continue to advance and pivot toward positive, innovative solutions that support student success. So that's it. Thank you. I yield back.
So was that a combined ICCTA, ACCT, and your trustee comments all in one, or?
It can be. Unless you want to hear more. But thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Okay.
Oh, I'm giving this to you. Okay.
5.2, trustee updates. Trustee Morales.
Sure, can I give my report?
Yes.
For the, okay,
It's your
so.
time.
What was that?
Said it's your time.
Okay, so we went to our New Orleans conference and we had a wonderful time. As you can see, Trustee Harris and I are wearing our tiaras from New Orleans. Great time to get to know the trustees, build a rapport, get to know each other and build that respect and trust among, team building. So there were many conferences that we are invited to go to learn and see what other best practices, what other colleges are doing. I'm not going to talk a whole lot about one of them that I found was very interesting because we kind of stumbled on this about a year or two ago when we had a case of financial aid like fraud that was taking place and we caught it. So other colleges had a whole presentation on this for the boards to understand that this can happen. And basically, they want us to understand fraud and that there is institutional risk. We need to support staff in their efforts in detecting the fraud, and that it's not just something that financial aid needs to be aware about, but all frontline staff, IT, they all need to be, paying attention and looking at any trends, anything that looks suspicious, so that we can do risk mitigation, and also we need to ask strategic questions. Sometimes board members don't know what to ask, right? I have the advantage that I have worked in higher ed, in community colleges, and in four-year private schools. So I do understand the financial aid part, the admissions part, of working within an institution. But these are things that can take a lot of time for financial aid people to see and give them the support, because this is not part of their job to look for fraud. That's almost a position in and of itself. So we just need to make sure that that we built an application screening process in the CRM Recruit that would take extra data points and halting the application before they go into the SIS system colleague, that we have these in place, especially right now that we are working on the new ERP, making sure that this is all built into that, because if we're already getting some of our funding cut, we don't want to lose money because now people are creating fraud. Okay, so that was one workshop that was very intense and very eye-opening for trustees that are clueless about what colleges go through and think they know everything about how to run a college. But I'm not one of those. Okay, anyway, another conference that I went to, another workshop that I attended, and actually this one was very interesting because I know we pride ourselves in saying we are America's first community college, and we are. We're trailblazers. But in this area, I think we're lacking, and I'm going to challenge our president, and I'm going to challenge our board and our administration. And this is where I brought up earlier today, Chairman, that I'd like for us to set some funding aside for I'm going to go on through my report, my comments also. So we have an opportunity to do what Elgin Community College in Illinois is doing. They are the only school aside from, well, let me go ahead and tell you the report real quick. Their workshop was Sparking Students' Democratic Spirit, a Center for Civic Engagement. I'd like for us to propose that we have a Center for Civic Engagement on campus. The president of Elgin Community College led this workshop. Civic engagement supports achieving the dream. Equity and student success guide everything they do. Civic engagement isn't separate from that work. So it supports persistence and completion directly for their students. When students are engaged in their communities, they feel more connected to their college and their peers and their teachers, and those connections improve their retention, graduation, and outcomes. Their success isn't about obtaining a degree. It's about building lives of meaning and opportunity after they graduate. Civic engagement plays a critical role. When they engage civically, they strengthen both democracy and their own social capital. Connections can open doors to jobs, networks, and future opportunities for our students, and they contribute to making the world a better place. They looked at how low-income students do as they become adults. Economically, years later, after they leave college, at Elgin Community College, their mobility rate was between 18 to 20%, meaning that 1 in 5 of low-income students move into the top quintile of earnings as students. This concept of upward mobility isn't just about economic mobility, it's also deeply tied to civic mobility. The idea that students gain agency and voice and power to shape their communities, and that's where the Center for Civic Engagement comes in. Just as colleges open the doors for economic opportunity, the center opens civic opportunity to learn how democracy works, how to advocate for their communities, and how to engage respectfully despite the differences. A college degree does open the doors, but social capital, the networks, the relationships, the confidence students build is what sustains social mobility. Through civic engagement, students learn how to advocate, how to collaborate, and how to lead. These are the same skills employers are looking for and the same skills the communities need. A vibrant democracy is built on the same foundation as a vibrant community. Those connections build networks that help students succeed not only as engaged citizens, but as professionals later in life. Civic learning is the engine of economic mobility. So the vision is students who leave Elgin Community College carry with them not only technical knowledge, but civic responsibility. They're workforce ready, but they are also democracy ready. That dual focus is what strengthens both individual opportunity and community vitality, as it's never mattered more than now. It's accredited by HLC, by the Higher Learning Commission, in their newly revised.
So can I ask a question?
Yes.
Is it possible for you to send that to us? I don't want
Yes.
to cut you off. The buzzers interrupted you a couple times.
Yes.
There's some good stuff in there, and quite honestly, without
Absolutely.
taking notes, we've missed a lot of it.
Yes.
So if you could send that to us.
I will absolutely send it to you. They are the only one out of 132 schools in the nation, alongside Harvard and Princeton, and they are the only community college in Illinois that has the center. And I'd like for us to be there with them as well. So thank you so much. I
Thank you.
appreciate it. Thank you. You can have it. Here.
Okay.
No, you're welcome.
Trustee Garcia again.
Thank you. I unfortunately was not able to attend the conference, but I look forward to continuing to learn from you all about takeaways from the different sessions. And again, right now that you all share a lot of that really helpful information, I'm getting some ideas. But I would like to focus on some of the things that we cover today and highlight some of that important events that we have on campus. Trustee Bishop, I want to thank you for your wonderful presentation. And it's always great to see everything that we're doing on campus, from the dodgeball tournament to the International Education Week, International Student Education Week. I'll ask you more questions about the disability disco. It sounds very interesting. But also just wanted to thank our students and also congratulate you that you all have already been in this semester for 13 weeks and you all are already wrapping up. So wishing you the best of luck and also any additional support that we can provide. I know that we have a lot of different activities on campus closer to the end of the semester to continue to support you all as you all have finals, essays, and different things that are due. I do want to thank Dr. Namu, Cabinet, Administration, and faculty for the Discover JJC that happened last weekend on Saturday. I wasn't able to attend, but I saw wonderful pictures, and also you all had wonderful pictures in the slides. And also, whenever we're engaging families, students, that always is super helpful in having them feel welcome and invited on a campus that maybe they had not visited before, or they didn't have a direct relationship or interaction, and that allows parents to visualize what their child, even if their child is older, even if they're over 18, what they could be doing in school. And also sometimes, a lot of times actually, it reminds parents that maybe they can take a GED class, maybe they can register for an ESL class, or maybe they want to get a certification in a different program. So it's a overall program that opportunity to invite families and prospective students, even if they're older, to think of JJC as an opportunity for them to do something else if that's what they're looking for. Thank you all.
Thank you. Trustee Bottomley.
Well, I think I just want to start off with saying that I recognize that we had some votes tonight that were hard. We had some conversations and back and forths that were challenging, and I do stand by every single vote that I took tonight, as I'm sure we all do. You know, I have to say I'm a little bit stuck on one question that I'm going to echo out to you all. Why is this board so dysfunctional? Why? I have my own personal opinions on that. I would assume most staff, most students, fellow trustees all have opinions as to why this board is so dysfunctional. But I look forward to the future when we're not dysfunctional as we continue to work together, because guess what? Look at all the great things that JJC is doing despite this board, despite the dysfunction, despite the chaos, despite the way that we speak to each other, despite the lack of professionalism that we hold towards each other. I recognize that we have another month of this year, and the new year is a great time to set a goal. I'd like to challenge all my fellow trustees as we enter into 2026 to treat each other with respect, to stop talking over each other, to stop taking jabs when there's no reason to take a jab, because it's embarrassing. You want to know what's embarrassing? The way that we treat each other, the way we scream when we're sitting up here. It's unprofessional. It's embarrassing. So despite how we act when we're up here, there's a lot of really great things that are happening. And with that, I want to say thank you for that land acknowledgement. It was beautiful. I was really excited to read it in my board packet, and it was everything and more that I could have asked for. So thank you. is exceptionally important, especially during Native American Heritage Month, especially in the month of November. I want to give a huge shout out to all of financial services. I don't know if financial services could have ever expected a trustee to love a conversation about a levy as much as I do, but I do, and I do greatly appreciate it. I appreciate all the work that's taken to get here. I know it's not easy. My last thing is a little fun tidbit about me. I'm kind of scared of needles, so in an attempt to get over my fear of needles, I started donating blood. So I already looked. There are plenty of spots open for the blood drive on the 18th. You'll probably see me there as long as I don't have a work meeting so I can escape. But please consider donating if you can. It's really impactful and can help you get over your fear of needles. Thank you.
Trustee Broderick.
First of all, I want to say we each bring a value to this board. Value is a key word that I think that comes into play for each one of us. We all have a presence and a value here that we place. And if we don't respect each other, we don't have a value that we place on each other. And Christy, you have a definite value that we're going to miss from you in your department. And I'm glad that we celebrated you today. So thank you for your 25 years of continued support and value here. And I'd like to say that, you know, I'm surprised and really kind of concerned that these 2 censures that were placed on me today, I miss not being able to go to the New Orleans National Conference, because that I think is something that, yeah, the first time I ever missed it. And, you know, yeah, I do have a sense of missing, and I was asked by many that were there what happened to me. And yeah, they said, yeah, we missed you, and I missed them, and that's why I guess I didn't approve the agenda, because I was looking for the reports from all of you that did get to go, because that is a base of learning, big education. It's a great place to go. New Orleans is fun. It's a nice area to visit, but I did miss it, and I think that's something that we all like to do, is go to the educational and get educated on different things, because it's constant change. And when you look at what AI is doing, and you look at what the effects of AI is coming about, and especially when you look at the reports of what online education is doing now, that's why there's a lot of online universities that are picking up that I brought up, and AI that's having an effect on it. Yeah, there is something that is coming our way, and it's a big futuristic thing that's going to happen to all of the colleges, especially 4-year and 2 years. So I look at that, and we have to look at what's going to happen to all of us. And I think that value to each one of us is something that we have to look at and respect. And if we don't, we have to get rid of the dysfunctionality. And if we don't, we will never move forward. And with that, Dr. Namu, I will say this: I did not know you were in Ireland, so when you sent your little message that said, I think you all know, I didn't. So next time I did send an email to our chair and asked if you were sick or whatever. Could you do me a favor? Because I do value your presence of where you're at. Could you just leave us a little email that says, I'm out of town, and just let us all know, because I didn't know. I guess some did know, because you were in New Orleans and they knew, but I didn't, and I thought you were sick or something had happened to you. So just I do value your presence here, so just give us a little note. That's all I'm asking. And have a great Thanksgiving, because we won't see you after that.
Trustee Harris, did you have more?
Oh.
She did her share.
I could say another 2 or 3 words. I want to say congratulations to Christy. Thank you for all you've done here at JJC. Even when I was not involved, I would always hear the good things that was going on with the foundation. And so thank you. Thank you for all that you've done. And I still encourage the trustees to try to get to the conferences, because they're very, very rewarding, and it's very good to see what other colleges do. And I'm always thrilled to find out that we've already done that. We've already done that. But I'm glad to be here. But I will say one thing, as a trustee, I will always stand on what is right, and I won't back down on that. So thank you for allowing me to serve, and I thank the voters for electing me to sit on this board. So I yield back.
Trustee Bishop.
I will keep it fairly brief. I just want to reiterate to all of you, I respect you. I respect your opinions. And you use those opinions to vote your conscience. That's an important part of trusteeship. We shouldn't all always agree with one another, and that's okay. Now, going to keep it fairly brief. ACCT shared critical information regarding basic needs and visionary ideas that I'll be presenting to student government in more detail. And now, I know you'd be like, why aren't you giving it to us? Don't worry, you'll have December. I'd like to talk to student government first. I represent the students, after all, not just myself. I'd like to get their direction for a little more context. I'd like to also reiterate Kurt Ward's and Dr. Nemuel's challenge to donate to the food pantry. We're currently seeing unprecedented need, not only by our communities, but by our students. Forgive the citation mistake here. My English professor wouldn't be all too happy, but 1 in 8 students are struggling with food security, have or will. And I'm sure right now, with federal cuts, it's worse. I'd also like to, state that the Grundy County land acquisition that we voted on tonight was a commitment to our students. And I'm glad all of you voted your conscience. I respect any differing opinions, but our students see that. I'd also, really quick, just want to say I am now a proud JJC nursing student as of today at 407. With that, I will conclude my updates. Thank you all.
Trustee Michelle Lee.
Congratulations to making it into the nursing program. That's not easy.
Thank you.
I just wanted to say, in regards to the dysfunction on this board, this kind of is a part of it. There was a Facebook post recently from the JJC-Media team stating that excited about the unanimous decision and vote made by the board for the Grundy County expansion situation, which clearly there's contention on this board. So, I just kind of want to let the public know that that's kind of what these meetings are like. You get basically that brought to the meetings, but there's so much more going on behind the scenes between a lot of the issues that are discussed, and the dysfunction. I would, just like the leadership in this country and the dysfunction that we're seeing, I would like to point to the leadership of this board and the leadership of the college and the constant attacking of trustees for questioning things and doing their fiduciary duty. And yeah, that's it. Just really want the public to think about that Facebook post that says that the board made a unanimous decision to vote yes to this, and I was not present at that meeting to vote, and Maureen voted no. So that is the representation of this college. Go look at it before they take it down.
Item 5.3, the chair report. I know you always look forward to me adjourning at this point, but I'm actually going to give you a chair report tonight. Couple things that were said this afternoon or this evening. Somebody said we've already seen that. So a couple of the workshops I went to, one was educational workshops with our manufacturing community. And as I listened to some of that, it was all things we already do here. They talked about, do you know who they are? Do you know who they represent? And I sat there thinking, yes, I do, because they've all stood at the podium and talked to us. We've had Exelon, Morris Hospital, Constellation Energy, Lions Electric. We've had a lot of our business community come to this board and talk. So we're a little bit ahead of what some of the colleges are just now realizing to work towards them. Before I go any farther, I do want to reiterate thanks to Christy Mulvey. So my first board meeting I went to, and I don't know if I'm allowed to share this, but Christy brought me a goodie bag. All the new trustees got a goodie bag. And I say that not knowing if all you got one. If you didn't, that just means she likes me more. But
I'll give you one. My last meeting in December, I'll give you all the goodie bag.
but I say that because you welcomed us, that look on your face that had us, thinking, what are we doing here? You eased us in very nicely. Thank you. There's a picture up on the board here, and this one was purely unintentional. During the first day of the conference, we went out to dinner that night, and we went to a restaurant that is 898 miles away from the front door of the A building to the front door of Galatore's. Unfortunately, a couple of us got there before the other ones, and we were waiting for Dr. Farmer and Tiana to join us. And when they got there, they told the hostess they were here with the group from JJC. Well, that excited a lot of people in the restaurant, and one of the hostesses or servers came all the way back, and we were at a far back room, came all the way back just to come and meet us all and tell us she's a JJC graduate. And it was special. We don't know if she got fired that night. I think she spent more time at our table, but she was just so excited to see us, and she was telling Karen about her faded shirt that she still wears, and she went on to say that, her cousin or brother-in-law?
Brother.
Was also a JJC alumni that was down there, but they had just really good things to say about the college. They were excited to be at our table talking to us. She stopped before she left, and that's her in the picture. It's Karen Kaczynski. So if any of the faculty remember Karen, she remembers all of us. Ironically, we got together for our pre-board meeting this week, and I told the hostess at the restaurant we were at that, again, we're waiting for Dr. Namuo. Karen and I were sitting down, and I said, we're the group from JJC. Same thing happened. She got all excited, told us she just started taking classes at JJC, and was just happy to see us. So at dinner that night, we came up with the concept that since we are all out in the community, we love running into JJC graduates. Maureen and I have both mentioned when we were in the hospital with COVID, it was great seeing the nurses come in that were all JJC nursing students or graduates. It's excited to see that. And I believe it was Dr. Namuo said we ought to have a segment at our board meeting called Wolves in the Wild for all these people that we come across. So I got Dr. Farmer's official approval to go with that. So but it's just great as a board, and it's been mentioned that they don't see what goes on in here. They see what goes on throughout the campuses and out there, and that's what is important. And when they're that excited to come and talk to us, that's just, it's a good feeling. So moving on, a couple of the other sessions I saw, I purposely went to quite a few sessions on the student. One was the student input with the Board of Trustees. I was shocked at a couple of schools that are just now figuring out that our students come to us with valuable insight to what's going on in campus. We've in the past been at these events, and they were shocked that they're actually in the meetings with us, that get to have a vote, get to have input, get to ask questions. We are so far ahead of a lot of the other schools that do not or have not offered that to their students. Now, I know there's a difference between an elected board and appointed board. It seems that most of the appointed boards do not have student input, which is just really, to us, sad. You've noticed that we moved our student report earlier in the queue of our delivered reports. This was intentional. There was one school that starts out every single meeting, they start out with the report from the student. They say the Pledge of Allegiance, go right into a student report. They do that to ground the board as to why we're actually here. It is for the students and those people on campus that we're actually serving, not about us or any of the other things out there. So again, been there, done that, or we've already tried that or are successful with that, that's important to us. The other thing that is really neat, and this has been happening, is Amy Sims still here? No, she left? She's what?
She left.
Okay, so we, as JJC, we are a leader in the use of our student trustees, the way they do it, and their input, and why it's so important, and why we have things on our board, little notes that were left by our students telling us, hey, they're watching tonight, not be on your best behavior, but just know that they are watching. But it's incredible to see our students when we travel, and I have not been to some of the trips to DC or to Springfield. But one thing I can tell you when we travel is our students are approached by other students, but even more fun is we have college trustees that sit and want to get information from our student trustee. And that is incredible, and that goes back to, Amy and all the people she's given us as student trustees over time. And it's so important, and, when we get our students, just like all the teachers in the classroom, they have a limited amount of time to make them the best that they can be. We take our student trustees on this board, and we have 1 year to put as much on their plate as possible. Look what has come out of, my first one was David Lozano, Josh Stamborski, Aisha Ellis, Ryan Queenie, and now Brenton Bishop. Look what they have all done and given back to this school, but even more so, look what they've done after they've left. We have a student wellness center that was driven by a student trustee. That was just a huge impact on what goes on here. We get a lot of input from our students, and I just hope that as a board, we never lose that focus of the student or block their input, and all of them will tell you, I always like the first month or two where they're afraid to ask questions, and then they'll ask, am I allowed to ask questions? And I'm like, no, you're expected to ask questions. Fortunately, Brenton had been to so many board meetings, he sat down as an old hat, so okay, let's get to business, Jim. And then lastly, this is an award that's come back to the college. It's from the ACCT. They have recognized JJC for service and dedication to the honorable mission of higher education in 2026. They have awarded us, or actually they have awarded the school, not the trustees, but the school, Association of Community Colleges, member in good standing. They also have the rules, that's standards of good practice, similar to what we have in our board book. So it's just interesting what's on this sheet and some of the things we do well, some of the things we need work at. But again, the community and outside people recognize us as being successful. We need to use that and capitalize on everything we do here as a board. I won't read every one of these. Trustee Garcia-Guillen mentioned that they're in the front of our board book. They're pretty similar, but this is an award that goes to the college. And with that, I will conclude my report. I will promise the next meeting, I'm gonna come back with some of the things I learned at the ACCT, but I am looking at, time, and we may get out of here at a reasonable time tonight. So with that, at 9:42, I'm asking for a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. We are adjourned at 9:42.